Locations 24 Main Street in Gray, Maine, in the Town Council chambers. And anybody wishing to join the meeting through Teams can do so at the links provided. Let's just do a quick roll call. All right. Let's see. Councilor Gass.
Present.
Councilor Edson.
Present.
Councilor Simino.
Present.
And Councilor Johnson.
Present.
All right, fantastic. Tonight we're here to have a workshop to discuss the purchasing solar array on Seagull Drive. And please feel free.
Thank you very much. So briefly, I'll provide a little background on myself as well as the solar array here. And so my name is Tanner Schmidt, and I serve as the asset manager for the Town of Gray Landfill Solar Array, which is that solar array located on Seagull Drive, and the company that I work for, which owns the landfill solar array, is a Maine-based renewable energy and housing development company. We own roughly 40 solar arrays between Maine and New Hampshire, and we serve customers, to include the Town of Gray, but similarly, many municipalities, hospitals, nonprofits, organizations of that sort. And this particular array was designed, engineered, and constructed by Revision Energy, similarly reputable Maine-based solar company. And this particular array was constructed and placed in service in December of 2020. And prior to that array becoming operational, but shortly after it was developed, the firm that I worked for assumed the contract, and thus became the owners of the array, to which the Town of Gray purchases electricity. And that's a fairly common ownership structure in the solar industry. It might sound a little bit odd, but essentially what we do is, we come in and essentially finance and develop the arrays. So, organizations like towns, schools, et cetera, don't have to assume development risk and things of that sort. So we essentially, buy the array and deliver the project, and the town retains, the economic benefits of the solar array. And in terms of those economic benefits, so this particular array is enrolled in what's known as the Maine Net Energy Billing Program. And the solar array essentially produces electricity. It exports that electricity directly to the grid. And rather than that, electricity flowing directly to town buildings, CMP measures the electricity produced by the array and issues a net energy billing credit, or a dollar credit, to accounts that customers such as the town subscribe to that array. So in the case of the Gray landfill array, there are roughly 20 Town of Gray accounts that receive or are in line to receive net energy billing credits on a monthly basis. And in terms of how those credits are calculated, so it's really a function of the electricity that the solar array produces in kilowatt hours, and there is something known as the net energy billing credit rate, which the Maine Public Utilities Commission publishes annually. And if you multiply, the production times that rate, there is a monthly credit benefit that's delivered to the town, and then it's passed along through the numerous accounts that are subscribed to the array. And essentially, to describe how that actually works, so let's just say the array generates 10,000 net energy billing credits in a given month, and account A, a Gray account, has roughly a $5,000 electricity bill. The first $5,000 of those net energy billing credits would cover that account's bill, and then the remaining $5,000 in net energy billing credits would go to account B, cover that bill, and so on and so forth until those net energy billing credits had been exhausted, or in the event that those net energy billing credits cover the entirety of those utility bills, remaining credits would be banked and retained, essentially available for, to cover future months' utility costs. And so in terms of what determines the town's savings, so as I noted before, the electricity production determines the amount of the net energy billing credits, with those credits being production in kilowatt hours multiplied by the effective net energy billing credit rate, which for the average Town of Gray account now is roughly 20 cents per kilowatt hour. And I would just note that there are a couple factors when considering, how savings are determined, and one of those being just what the inputs are on town of account bills, such as, electricity consumption for those accounts, as well as, whatever the retail electricity supply and delivery rates and charges are for those bills. And so that's a bit of the background there. But the thing that I came here today to speak about principally is under the existing solar lease or the power purchase agreement that's in place between us and the town. The town now, as we're in contract year 6, does have the option to purchase the array if they so choose. And I did a bit of an analysis to determine, essentially what that purchase value would be should the town wish to explore purchasing the array. And the fair market value that I determined was approximately $655,000. And that analysis essentially spans the period from 2026 today through the end of the existing power purchase agreement term, which runs to 2045. And as part of this analysis, and really what the benefit to the town would be, if you're making a $655,000 purchase, you would want there to be, some form of clear savings to the town. And I think the clearest justification of savings from the town's perspective would be, as we currently stand with roughly 19 years remaining on the existing term of the contract, if we continue to effectively deliver solar array production and net energy billing credits as we have, the town would essentially avoid paying us, roughly $1.36 million in electricity sales payments over the remaining term of the existing power purchase agreement. And there are a couple other, things that factor into the equation there, but essentially I projected that the net benefit to the town, should they exercise their option to purchase, would equate to, essentially $482,000. And the way that I would present the two options really are, as of today, you could continue to lease the array as you do currently, continuing to pay us a rate per kilowatt hour produced. I'll call it that PPA rate that the town pays to us, rises at 2% per year throughout the term of the contract. So another 19 to 20 years. And as owner currently, my firm, we really retain associated revenue streams, which is namely PPA payments from the town, and also renewable energy credits that are generated by the array that we're essentially able to sell to the open market. And under the option to purchase, if the town went that route, essentially the town would own the array outright. They would eliminate the $1.36 million in future contract obligations or lease payments. They would continue to retain the net energy billing credit benefits, and they would also be able to generate additional revenues selling renewable energy credits, or claim those benefits if they so chose. And lastly, we're 19 years from that point, but when 2045 rolls around, you can certainly make the case that there will still be a need and desire for net energy billing credits. And as it stands currently, if we wrote out the remaining term, I think that the town would certainly want to explore renewing that power purchase agreement because of the benefit that it provides and has provided in the past. And the last point that I'll make too is related to the track record of the array from inception to date through the first 5 years. And so within the power purchase agreement, there was an upfront estimated delivery of production in kilowatt hours throughout the term of the power purchase agreement. And through the first 5 full years of operation, so from 2021 through 2025, the array did in fact deliver roughly 100% of what was estimated and promised under that agreement. And so that's just to say You know, it's a stable asset that's in very good shape, and it's monitored closely. You know, we've certainly delivered under the power purchase agreement, but you know, given the fact that the option to purchase, you know, that window opened in December of 2025, I thought it would just make sense for me to you know, to broach the town. And the last thing that I'll note there is that not all of our power purchase agreements have an option to purchase. I was not around at the time that the contract was signed, but the contract would read that it was likely the intent to have that option to purchase at the time that the contract was entered into, and so I just wanted to make that point here and open it up to any questions.
I have a bunch, but I'm going to let somebody go first.
Yeah, me too.
Go ahead. Got any questions, Pam? You want to start? Do you have any questions at all? Okay,
I
go.
have questions. Well, I'll start.
I get a list of them too, yeah.
Okay.
Go.
Right.
Go ahead, want to go?
Yeah, sure, I'll
Go
go,
ahead.
and then we'll just
Yeah, I
go
got-
one
I
way or
got
another.
some
All right,
go
so we'll
after you.
probably each cover them. So what is the maintenance cost per year?
So the historical average maintenance cost per year for operations and maintenance is roughly $3,337 per year.
And then on top of that, you know, for 19 years, you know, the first 5, 6 years it went well, but doesn't it, you know, over the 19 years, doesn't it kind of degrade itself as far as, you know, capacity, and can you talk about that?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So that's a very good point you raise. I would say in the analysis that I'd sent over, you know, two expenses, I should say, are projected over the term or the remaining term of the PPA, those being the operations and maintenance costs and insurance costs. I similarly included a fairly large equipment replacement figure of roughly $137,000, which is, in percentage terms, I believe somewhere around 13% of what the replacement value of the array would be. And I think that that's a fairly conservative and large figure. You know, that was incorporated into the analysis. You know, frankly, you know, 15 years into the array, the only items that might be in need of replacement would be things like inverters, things of that sort. And as of today, those are, you know, roughly $5,000 to $6,000 a piece. And you know, we haven't had any issues with inverters historically.
Okay, and right now, the amount of kilowatt hours that we're receiving, will that go down over 19 years, or because will they kind of, you know, that's my biggest concern, is that now we get, let's say, 1,000, will it be 500 at the end of the 19 years?
Yeah, and so what my analysis incorporated, which is more or less the industry standard, is that you assume that every year the maximum output of the array would decrease by roughly 0.5%. I would say, you know, one reality of solar is obviously a lot of it depends on, you know, how much sun you do or don't get. But yes, there was, we did factor in, you know, a modest degradation factor for production.
All right, and the last question I had was, what is the standard rate right now versus the 20 cents per kilowatt hour?
The standard rate, in other words, the retail
Yeah.
rate. That's it. So it will vary by account. I looked at a handful of Town of Gray accounts, and I want to say, you know, the all-in cost on those bills that I saw was somewhere around 26 cents a kilowatt hour.
So we're saving about 6 cents a kilowatt hour?
I should say, so what the Town of Gray pays us under the PPA is currently the town pays us, you know, just below 12.5 cents a kilowatt hour, but they receive that credit benefit, which is currently 20 cents. So it's more like 7.5 cents is what's actually saved.
Okay. All right, cool, thank you.
Okay, so I guess my question really is like, so we own the land and you actually have these solar panels on the land, and they produce energy and you sell that energy to CMP, and then CMP credits our bills for it. Is that correct?
More or less. So yes, the Town of Gray effectively, you know, they purchase the electricity from us, and they receive on-bill credits that are administered by CMP. So yes.
Okay, and so how much have they got, how much has the Town of Gray received, like year 1 through 5? Like, how much have we collected?
Yeah. So So I would say over the course of the first 5 full years, so from 2021 through 2025, I made a fairly conservative projection just based upon production, as I don't necessarily have access to all of the town's bills. But in the first 5 years, the net energy billing credit value that was delivered to the town is roughly $440,000.
So we received in the town for the last 5 years, $440,000 in credits towards our CMP bill.
That's correct.
Okay, and our CMP bills are that high that we are actually using that? Because I've seen the bills, I didn't see that there was
Over 5 years.
100,000 a year, right?
10,000 a month. We got all these buildings.
Yeah, I know, I have seen the bills, so.
Yeah, and I can't speak to the total number of Town of Gray's CMP accounts, but I believe I want to say it's 22 or 23 of the town's CMP accounts roll up, receive credits from the array.
So there's only one probably that isn't included, so we're not covering everything then with this program?
I can't answer that definitively, but I can certainly reconcile which accounts are enrolled versus a full list of town accounts.
Okay.
Yep.
I guess the other thing is we pay, is it Wish Camper, what is it?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, Wish Camper, so I see money going to Wish Camper, so
That's right.
we're paying you, why are we paying you, and then you're giving us the credit back? So what are we paying you?
So you're paying us for the electricity that the array has produced. So effectively, we get compensated currently this year 12.5 cents for every kilowatt hour that the array produces, and you're receiving a net energy billing credit benefit of 20 cents a kilowatt hour. So you're receiving, essentially your benefit is 7.5 cents on every kilowatt hour that's generated by the array. So we're essentially we had to finance the array, so that the PPA payments are part of what provided us the ability to generate the electricity and similarly give the town a benefit that's larger than what they pay us.
And so what do we pay you? So what have we paid you in the last 5 years?
Yeah. So I previously stated, so the net energy billing credit value, or the net energy billing credits that would have been delivered to the town was roughly $440,000. What's been paid by the town to us over that same period
Yep.
is roughly $282,000. And so, the net benefit to the town is approximately $160,000.
Okay, so we've paid you 280 and we got 440, so we netted 160.
That's right.
But
yep.
does that include all this other stuff like repairs and maintenance, insurance and?
No, so under the
No.
current agreement, we cover all of that.
Oh, you do?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so we've actually benefited $160,000 in the last 5 years from this program.
That's right, yes.
Okay, and moving forward, because it may decrease in how much it can produce, that we end up probably getting less and less. By 0.5% a year. I mean, that's pretty
Yeah.
significant, because this isn't like huge. Like, there isn't like a massive savings here. You're talking $160,000 and we've used our money.
Yeah, I think in aggregate terms, the customer benefit, $160,000, but that equates to roughly 36% over the 5-year period.
Okay, I think I had another question, I don't know what it was. Okay, can we just move on, and
Ann?
if I remember it, I'll come back to it?
Well,
Or can you
okay, when I Googled, why would the solar guy want to sell us back this thing?
Mhm.
It specifically said that you've probably maximized or used all of the tax credits that you benefited from. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, there is truth to that. Frankly, I would say that is part of what makes investments in solar arrays attractive to for-profit development entities. Now, those are benefits that municipalities can't necessarily capture themselves, but under the power purchase agreement, the town's certainly still receiving the that on-bill credit benefit.
And how much is it?
It depends.
Yeah.
Every year it depends what they give you credits. Yeah,
Is it included that 440?
No, that has nothing to do with that.
But we're no longer receiving any.
Yeah.
That's
So-
why. Oh, so they don't get the credits
It's usually
anymore.
initial.
So, but there is truth that solar panels do lose their efficiency as they go, but I'm wondering, in the end, after year 2045, when the time to either dispose of these, what is the cost to the town for that?
As it stands currently under the power purchase agreement, that would be our responsibility in terms of removing panels if the town didn't choose to, renew their lease. But, frankly, I should say, generally speaking, as of today, solar panels are, they're fairly cheap in general terms, but.
So can I follow up to that? So if we buy it though, you still have to come and take it away in 2045?
No.
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 So it's
That's our
our,
response,
so,
okay.
okay, so, and how much
Yeah.
would that cost to get, I think that was kind of where she was going, is what is the
Right.
cost to be in 2045 to take that away, to dispose of it?
I do not have that number available
Okay.
today.
Do you have a guesstimate?
No, I can't say that. We haven't gone through that yet, so
Okay.
I can certainly ask.
Could you-
I personally probably wouldn't be in favor of this.
Well, could you get us that information
Yeah, I would want that.
on the cost? And then
You'll
Councilor
probably
Gass,
not be able
please.
to tell us in
Hold on.
25 years, someone's just gonna get rid of them. There's PFAs in them, they're gonna be harder.
Yeah, I actually had the same cost about removal of the panel, and it's difficult to know. I mean, obviously, you're projecting some point in the future, and what the cost will be are hard to project. I think what we were told when we went ahead with this, and I think Gray was one of the first municipal solar arrays in the state. Portland had done one, maybe Scarborough. There are a couple other cities that had done it, but we were early in this process. So there was still stuff that was getting worked out. If we buy the panels from you, could you just clarify again who maintains them at that point? So if there are problems going forward, do we hire somebody as a contractor to maintain them, or?
Yeah, I would say Revision Energy, we are the owner. Revision Energy still services the array. So
Oh, okay.
if we have any needs, repair needs, annual inspections, things like that, we contract Revision. And yes, if you needed to repair something, yeah, it would make sense to go through an organization like a Revision. So it generally makes sense to have an operations and maintenance service agreement in place.
Okay, and if we were to look at purchasing, are you familiar with an independent consultant or somebody who could help us do the cost benefit analysis and just sort of, somebody more familiar with the industry than us and someone who doesn't have the interest that you would have to help advise us on this?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, we've gone through this process a few times and worked with a few folks who are not affiliated with us, and I would be happy to follow up with that information.
Okay, that was just helpful to know. Yeah, I mean, in the packet page 20 and the option to purchase, we can decide on a year-by-year basis, right, whether or not to,
Yeah.
there's no magic about this year. It's just, this was the first year that option became available to
Yes,
us.
that's right. This is
Yeah.
the first year that you were eligible to do so, and that option agreement, it stands, throughout the remaining term of the lease. So,
Right.
yeah.
So, I mean, one suggestion I had is, given that I think our workforce is down by close to 20% or something, we're short employees, and we have to do a town manager search, and we just have a lot on our plates right now. It just may not be the right time to really look into this and make a decision, and we could defer it till next year. That's just a suggestion. I mean, I think it may go ahead and it may make sense financially for us. Something under $500,000 is nothing to sneeze at in terms of savings over the period. So it's something I would definitely consider, but I don't know that we have the bandwidth to do that right now.
So if we continue on the path we're going right now, we're still going to have the savings pretty much that we have each year until the end of till 2045?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, okay, no, that's right. Okay, so then at the end of 24, and at 2045, we can say, all right, we want to renew up something, or we decide we're done, and if we're done at that time, you folks would be responsible for dismantling.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, and so if I understand correctly, you said we've got about 19 years remaining, and if we did do the purchase for $655, we'd save about $1.36 million.
Yeah, that 1.36 million number is essentially, it would be payments to us that the town would no longer have to make, so future obligations under the lease.
Sure, okay, all right, so I think I would like to see what the cost of dismantling is, number one, if you could get that to us.
Yep.
The other thing I think we need to look at is, and I'll use a smaller number, which is $600,000. And in the world of finance, there's something called the rule of 72, which is how long does it take your money to double? And if we took that $600,000 and we invested it, if you just got 8% over 9 years, that would be 1.2 million, and then the next 8 years would double again, which would be 2.4 million. So in 18 years, we would have 2.4 million versus the 1.36 million. So we could almost be $1 million up. So it's something to think about.
Yeah, and I did the same
I
thing,
don't have to
at
think
point of, I did the same thing at 4% is 1.38.
Yeah.
So regardless, it's still cheaper.
Definitely get us that, and to Councilor Gass, what she was saying is correct. We've got a lot of things going on, but I definitely think it's something we should look at and not close out. But if you get us that cost, but again, for us, I think if we had that type of money and we invested it, we could do very well.
Yeah.
Well, you do realize whatever cost he gets us now in 2045 might be a different cost.
Yeah.
True.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's kind of hard for him to give us a cost for.
But
that
just a
almost-
best
I don't think it's
guesstimate, we're not gonna hold you to
19
it.
years out.
Yes, we get that, absolutely. So if you could do that, that'd be great.
Can I just ask one other thing? I mean, one of the things we were told was that, because the mineral, I mean, the metals that go into making these arrays are becoming more, well, in demand, and we, at this point in this country, aren't producing any. We're looking to other countries to get them. That there was at least speculation that there would be an interest in recycling the panels going forward. At the time that they're decommissioned, that that there will be a market for those metals. And is that? I mean, obviously, again, we can't for sure predict what's going to happen in the future, but.
Yeah, no, I can say that yes, there is a market for recyclable solar materials, specifically the panels. Yep.
I did also have a question. I had someone brought it to my attention recently, how there were several days that the panels were down, and it was like a significant loss to Gray of about $10,000 in just 1 month. Is that happening quite often, or is it any of your recollection that this has been going on?
So off the top of my head, I can't think of what that would have been. I should say that specifically this past winter, in the last 2 winters, the winters have been fairly harsh, and with that, we'd had excess cloud cover and things like snow on top of panels. So that can play into the equation and reduce the production for the array for that month.
I mean,
And
it was totally out for 10 days. I mean, flat, nothing showed.
Yeah.
For 10 days, is that?
Yeah, I can look into that. That would sound like a some sort of a grid outage or some form of system outage. But I can't remember off the top of my head when that would have occurred. But.
Okay, because it seems like it was a substantial amount, and it's like, okay, well, we were down for that period of time. How often does that happen? And that's actually losing the town of Gray money, and not just a little bit, but quite a bit.
Yeah, no, and I should say too, one thing that I could follow up with if you'd be interested is, we commission revision to perform annual inspection reports, and we'd be happy to, to
See the
provide those as
gaps
well.
and see where the
Yeah.
gaps are, and, okay, all right.
Anybody else have any questions?
No, thank you.
All right, great. I appreciate your time. All right,
Thank you.
workshop adjourned. Let's take 5 minutes and then we'll start.
Okay.
Great, thank Hello and welcome to this evening's Town Council meeting. Today is Tuesday, August 4th, 2026, and the time is currently about 6:38. This meeting is being held at 24 Main Street here in Gray in the Town Council chambers and is being held both in person and online with the link provided. Residents wishing to participate in the public comment or public hearing portion of the agenda may do so by clicking in to participate or by calling in using the phone number provided as detailed in the agenda. And once again, we're going to do a quick roll call. Councilor Gass,
Present.
Councilor Johnson,
Present.
Councilor Simino,
Present.
and Councilor Edson.
Present?
Could we all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next up is the approval of the minutes. I'd like to make, I move to approve the July 14th, 2026 regular Town Council meeting minutes as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion?
Second?
Second.
Any requests for amendments?
I do not.
Okay, if no objections, let the minutes stand. All in favor? All opposed? Perfect. Next up would be council communications, and we're going to start with Councilor Gass.
Okay, I'm going to start with reports from the Open Space Committee. It met earlier this month and decided not to participate in the Blueberry Fest, so you won't find us there. They're continuing to discuss new structure and want to get back to looking at parcels. Resiliency has good news. The Cumberland County Soil and Water Conservation District's Pleasant River Thayer Brook proposal to update the that section of the watershed management plan was awarded by the Maine DEP, so that's great news. And I was unable to attend the meeting due to a family matter, but their minutes reflect that they looked at 2 new maps, one depicting areas included in the Surface Water Protection Ordinance that we're going to be talking about with the council, not tonight, but actually in September, and a second looking at tree growth parcels in the town. Due to vacation schedules, the next meeting will be held a week earlier than it normally would be on August 17th. I've had no activities since the last meeting on behalf of the town. And then correspondence, I received correspondence in support of restoring the contract with the Sheriff's Department and restoring the land acquisition fund, or repaying the land acquisition fund. Traffic safety on Depot Road, communication from a resident regarding the town's electrical statute, a request that councilors use their mics consistently because of difficulties hearing them, and a request for early approval of an ADU, which I guess is on the agenda tonight.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for me.
Perfect. Next up, Councilor Johnson.
Oh, excellent. Let's see here. So I'll start with my committee, the library committee. We met last week. The adult summer program is going really well. We talked about the budget. We looked at their rankings. Yarmouth has $127 per person. Gray is 7th out of 8 at $43 per person, and they were going to look at that and try to present some information this year in the budget process. And they want to look at some opportunities to do some different things. But they're doing very well. Great program. I definitely recommend everybody get up there. I did get some of the Dorothea wants the ad hoc committee for the sheriffs. I got an FOAA request from Maureen Gilbert. She wants to see all my personal Facebook messages, which I think they sent over, where, I don't typically say anything about the town, but, it's my personal stuff. I got Corrine mentioned the microphones. Derek sent an email about interim positions. Meg, Code of Ethics. Barry, Paulin, ADU. Aaron, about the recaps. Sharon Bondiff about the town council recaps. Ariana, safety concerns, and that's it.
Beautiful. Next up, Councilor Edson.
I was able to attend the Gray Wild Blueberry Festival meeting, and everything is really going great for that. That was actually a really exciting meeting. I was really impressed. And so the festivities begin this Friday night from 5 to 8 and Saturday 9 to 3:30. Rain or shine, Lacey wants you to, if you think it's pouring buckets, it doesn't look like it's going to be, but if it is, go to the Facebook page because they'll have more information there. We have some really exciting things, and one of the things that I think is really exciting is the Gray New Gloucester Raymond Little League team, the boys, have won the state championship, and they are going to be playing in Bristol, Connecticut at 1 o'clock on Saturday. And one of the things that Lacey is having housed here during the Blueberry Festival is that at the Pennell New Begin, they're going to play that inside for anybody that would like to go in and watch it on ESPN. I think that's adorable. And I'm really proud of the boys and the coaches of our Little League team. I think it's amazing what they've done. And this is the second year. And so kudos to them. And also, she's going to have the Wild Blueberry Festival is sponsoring movie night in the park. And it's going to be Tuesday, August 11th. It's going to be the main outdoor film festival. And it's going to start at 7:45. And unfortunately, I'm not able to make the Dry Mills Schoolhouse committee meeting at 10 a.m., which I may have to talk to somebody about. Judy, you really wanted to do that. I might need to. I can't make 10 a.m. meetings because I do work. So that is everything. I did get the same kind of emails you guys all did, and I don't need to go over them again.
Perfect. Councilor Simoneau.
Yes, I also had a ZBA meeting, zoning board appeals meeting. I was very impressed. I really liked it. I was very impressed on how they actually put together the program where they had to qualify, going through the certain steps, and if it failed to one, that they weren't allowed to go forward. I just thought it was done very, very professionally, done very well. They were very inquiring on, the land and why they wanted to have it changed or whatever. But I was impressed. I thought it went really well. I don't think the homeowner thought it went well, but so I also was on the finance committee, and the finance committee has year-end stuff, but it's not finalized yet. It is still kind of up in the air on really what the final numbers are for the remaining of the year. They're still working on the audit, I guess, for last year, and they feel that this year's audit should come a lot quicker. So hopefully that will be good. We are looking at doing some better reporting. Sue Fuller was great at this. This was our first meeting, and she is really on top of things about reports and stuff like that. And she recommended that we do operating reports instead, so that we can actually see what the bottom line is, because we're really it's very difficult for us to pull those reports together and say, where are we at? We have really struggled with that. And so I think that's going to be a big improvement for us to be able to get these reports done up a little better. So I did have all the emails of everybody else, and I did want to talk a little bit about the one I received for Depot Road. I feel that there is serious traffic issues in Gray, and I feel that for us to push that off and say it's not our responsibility is kind of handing it over to somebody that's going to do nothing. So I thought about it, and I also had things that I wanted to have corrected in the town of Gray in regards to traffic, and which I did bring forward to Lauren, and she was checking into some of those. But I do think that I was very impressed with the email that I got from the gal about the Depot Road issues that they're having, and the biggest thing that I was impressed with is she had the solutions. And I said, well, hallelujah, but because it's not a Gray road and it's a main state road, it kind of ends with us, but does it really? Can't we go to the MMA and have the MMA push forward? Because I realized that they also, when I read through their literature, they are responsible too to push through some stuff to the DOT. And so I think it should be pursued that, these things get taken care of. You have issues in the town with the driving and all this stuff, and why are we not pushing forward with some of the things to do it? So that's all I had.
All right, beautiful, thank you. And to kind of talk about the same thing she did with regards to the finance committee, the town representatives and the finance committee members have been having some, I'd call, productive conversations with regards to ways in which we can improve the exchange of information, track data, and do forecasting. All of these metrics are important as we look to put in some long-term changes so that we can present information a lot more clearly. Would also like to acknowledge that I did receive feedback with regards to the microphones, and I hope we get feedback that we have listened and everybody has their mic on tonight. And I did get some other additional messages similar to what you have. One of them was the same one with regards to the woman who lived on Depot Road. And what I loved about her email is not only did she bring up a situation and a problem, but she brought forward some solutions. And I believe when we're going to look at this, that even though the state owns that road, we may be able to put in a request to the state to address that, and then they could do that. So that's something we're gonna look into, but I definitely appreciated the feedback, and I think that's great. I mean, we wanna hear issues and concerns or problems, but we love ideas and solutions as well. The next thing I wanna discuss is we have some recent openings within the town of Gray, which include a clerk, accounting department, assistant director of recreation, code enforcement, and an administrative assistant. These positions have been posted or will shortly be posted on the Town of Gray website. The Town of Gray has a significant number of employees with extensive tenure, as this is a place where you can have a lifelong career. For those with skill sets in these areas, we would welcome an opportunity to speak with you. These positions offer competitive pay, outstanding benefits, including numerous paid holidays, and for residents in Gray, this would be a great opportunity for you to work in your community, supporting your residents, your neighbors, your friends, and your family. Lastly, I would like to take a moment to say thank you to all the town employees, especially those of you right now who are stepping up while the current vacancies are being filled, for their efforts and dedication to the team. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to the town manager report.
Good evening. Just a few things. As Councilor Edson mentioned, the Gray Wild Blueberry Festival is its 10th annual, being held on Friday and Saturday this weekend. And hoping for a great turnout. It usually is, so I hope that continues. And the weather is good. The Maine Outdoor Film Festival also is Tuesday, August 11th. Rain date is Wednesday, August 12th, and films start at 7:45. The admission is $10, and you can find more information on our website at graymaine.org. Also, the Town of Gray has launched a program called Onboard Gov. It is to improve board and committee transparency and accessibility. And like with the recent introduction of our new advanced business directory, the new boards and committee system is another way for us to modernize the way we manage both public and non-public facing information. And on this system, you can view current board and committee members, past membership history, term start and end dates. There's also lists of vacancies. So if you need more information or would like more information, you can either go on our website or contact the town office, and somebody would be happy to discuss that with you. And that's all I have.
Perfect. And you get to work in a beautiful air-conditioned building, right? Right now, we're going to open up for public comments of non-agenda items. So the public is invited to address the council on items not listed on tonight's agenda. Comments are limited to 3 minutes, and each person may speak once at the podium unless recognized by the chair to clarify a previous comment or to provide new information. When you come up, just please provide your name and address prior to speaking. And lastly, public comment is not intended for debate. We're here just to listen, and it will close when there's no new information being presented. So if anyone would like to come up and to speak, please do so.
Ken Farrington, North Raymond Road, Gray. First off, congratulations to Judy and Pam for getting on the council. Nice job, ladies.
Thank you, Ken.
So I'm here to follow up on the ad hoc committee meeting on the transfer station. I know Barney got up here and presented to the council, and a few things have kind of forgotten about, so I want to bring those up. First one is around the trash collection is the pigeon mesh. That hasn't been taken care of. Place is really disgusting. It's supposed to be pressure washed. The mesh was supposed to come down. They're supposed to put spikes up to get rid of the pigeons. So that's the first one, needs to be taken care of. Second one, I know Randy was a big advocate for this, is the metal stoppers on the roof to stop the ice from sliding down. It's damaged vehicles in the past, and he was also worried about people getting injured when they're coming into the building. So Mo was supposed to take care of that. It's August. Winter's gonna be in 3 months. That really needs to get going ASAP. Third one was the Pulse survey was in favor of keeping the swap shop, but the swap shop was supposed to be also moved inside the transfer station to alleviate traffic and to keep an eye on what people are dropping off. That hasn't been done. John Powers got up here and said he was looking for a grant to build a new swap shop, and I see that hasn't done either. So they either need to move that or they need to build a new one. And lastly, I went down on Sunday, and that was quite the fiasco. So on the public survey that they did, also people were in favor of having one night a week open till 7 p.m. So I know summer's almost over, but next summer, I think either Wednesday night or Thursday night, they need to look into that. Maybe that'll alleviate some of the traffic on Sunday, because Sunday is total chaos. So those are my comments, and thank you.
Thank you so much, as always. Would anyone else like to come up to speak?
We do have a couple people online.
All right, beautiful. Anybody else in the audience? Good. Okay, please, Kyle.
Julie, I will start with you. I'm going to unmute your mic right now. Give me 1 second. Okay, Julie, you should be able to unmute your mic and talk. You're going to have to unmute your mic, Julie.
There she goes.
My name is Julie Sheets. I live on Wilderness Way in Gray, Maine. I know it hasn't come up yet, and I'm really not sure what the meaning is behind this, but I see under referrals a discussion of town council recaps. I just want to say that is a fabulous thing, the town council recaps. As you folks who are sitting on the DS know, they can go very long. It's difficult for a lot of us to make it to meetings in person. But the ability to quickly be able to cue into a particular area within the video without having to sit through 3 hours of it is huge. So again, not really sure what the purpose of that on the referrals is about, but I would strongly encourage this council to continue those and improve those. I think it's a great addition to information and transparency for the council and for the members of the public. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie.
Lisa, I'm going to unmute your mic now. And you should be able to now unmute your mic and speak.
Any of these are agenda items we can talk about. That's really not.
It is on the agenda.
It is. I mean,
All right, so, but then that means we can.
There's likely a button at the top of your
Okay,
screen,
we do that.
Lisa,
That means we can-
that says mic. You'll need
We'll have
to
conversation
you'll
on
need
the
to
topic when
enable
it
that.
comes up.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Okay, thanks. I was trying to do it another way.
Go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, Lisa Elena Gilmore, Portland Road. The town logo has already been paid for, just like the town seal. There are no additional costs to use it.
It's
That's
on
it.
the-
It's on the, Lisa, thank you. We're gonna open that up when we get to that item. So
Oh,
basically,
sorry.
so.
I didn't
and-
see
and you
that
can-
on the agenda, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. So basically, this is the time to come up to comment on any item that's not on the agenda.
Okay, I'll
Okay,
get
no,
one.
and you can buzz, please buzz back in.
I have to buzz out and in?
I will mute your mic now, Lisa. And there is now no one else online.
All right, beautiful. So at this time, we're gonna close the public comment section. Oh, please, come up, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
That's okay, absolutely, please.
Thank you. I am Meg Barhay. I live on 45 Knutson Road. Thank you so much for tonight for having me. I just wanted to comment on a couple of items that I don't believe are on the agenda, but if I go off, please just say the word. I just wanted to speak in support of repaying the land acquisition fund, and talked about the work that the open space committee is doing. I know they're getting poised, getting organized to be able to buy parcels, as I understand it, and I just think that putting that money that was taken for the pumper truck back into that fund is really important. So looking forward to hearing, you know, plans and thoughts on how we can get that done. And just speaking in support of creating the ad hoc committee to explore the sheriff's contract issue, figuring out a way for us to kind of just explore what works for us as a town and how to move forward with that. And the final thing I wanted to speak about, I know my heart is beating and my mind is going a little bit blank, is a code of ethics and code of conduct for the council and committee members. I think this election season, I know our new council members probably can speak to it too. It's just a tough one, and I think.
And that's going to be, we're going to talk about that tonight.
Oh, that's on the
Yep,
agenda.
Yep, it's
Okay,
going to be on there.
great.
So,
So-
no, absolutely.
Okay.
And feel free if there's anything else.
Nope, that's it. I just
All right,
wanted
great.
to put
Thank
that
you for
out there
coming out.
that we're, you know, citizens in support
Thank
of
you
those
for coming
things.
out.
Thank you.
I know it's public speaking, it's not always easy.
Vince, we do have Lisa who wants to say something else.
Okay.
Give me a moment, Lisa, to enable your mic. You can now unmute yourself and speak.
Okay, let me know if I'm out of line here. I believe that strong town council needs both a code of ethics and a code of conduct. The code of ethics defines who we want to be, transparent, focused on problem solving, and committed to the public good with respect with each other and make decisions in an opening.
We're going to talk
There-
about that. Lisa, I'm sorry, we're going to talk about that tonight. The code of conduct?
Laura, I must have had a different agenda,
That's okay.
okay?
That's okay.
How about warrant processes?
I don't think it is on the agenda.
That's not on the,
What, I mean, code
what's
of conduct?
Under council rules.
under council rules.
On the rules.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, that's a little separate.
Oh,
but
these
yeah.
are different.
Okay, your question on warrants, go ahead.
I get it.
My code of conduct and ethics is different than the rules. Will I be able to speak then?
Yes, when that comes up, you'll be able to speak, absolutely.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
I just want to say about, I'm also looking forward to understanding why anyone want to get rid of the recaps on these meetings.
And we're going to talk about that too.
Right.
Okay, I'll shut up and listen, thanks.
That's okay, thank you, Lisa. Does anybody else have anything they would like to come up and say? Anybody else online, Kyle?
There was no one else online.
All right, great. So at this time, we are going to close out the public comment section of this meeting. So first up, or next up, is going to be unfinished business. Table from a previous meeting. So it is resolve number 2627-1, reaffirming rules for town council meetings and workshop. And the motion is to remove resolve number 2627-1, reaffirming rules for town council meetings and workshops from the table for further discussion. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor? Okay, beautiful, thank you. Next, be resolved that the Gray Town Council hereby reaffirms rules for town council meetings and workshop as amended to remain in full force and effect until amended by future council action. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
So,
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, beautiful. All in favor? Okay. At this time, we will open the floor for public discussion on this motion. The 3-minute time limit is still in effect, and the conversation must stay on this topic. Those wishing to speak, please come up to the podium. Kyle, is there anyone online?
No one is raising their hand for
All
this.
right, beautiful. Okay, so at this time, public comment.
It looks like we might have someone raising their hand.
Okay, beautiful.
Give me a second, Lisa. Hold on. Okay, now you can unmute your mic and speak.
Okay, is this an okay time to talk about
It is. Welcome.
Okay. All right, hang on a second. Okay. A strong town council needs both a code of ethics and a code of conduct. The code of ethics defines who we want to be, transparent, focused on problem solving, and committed to the public good. A code of conduct outlines how we act and how we treat one another with respect and make decisions in the open. These are standalone documents, not just thrown in on the rules of meetings. They give council members a clear standard to follow and give the public confidence that the council works for the good of all Gray residents. For example, the decision to borrow from the Land Acquisition Fund, a code of ethics would have guided an open public discussion about the trade-offs. Were we willing to spend land acquisition money to save on the interest fees? That conversation ethically could have been introduced publicly, perhaps on a referral, with the council members, with all the council members present, could have been discussed and voted on, and had it been addressed that way, we may not have this ongoing vitriol. I hope that these codes don't restrict us. They're about giving us a framework for making decisions with integrity, and they give residents the assurance that their council's working for the good of the town. I strongly suggest that the council investigate some type of guided retreat to discuss and create these codes. There's plenty of towns in Maine that have them. I can give you that list if you wish. And hopefully having them will give the public more confidence that the council is working for the good of Gray. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Is there anyone else, Kyle?
No.
Okay. So at this time, the public comments are now closed on this item. We'll now open up the floor for the council discussion on the motion. Who gave the first motion? Was it you, Mike?
Yes.
Okay, go right ahead.
All right,
Actually, before you do,
yes.
if I may.
Yep.
So far, the only person that's said something concrete has been Councilor Gass. And I know we all have ideas and thoughts. I don't think we're going to get to them tonight because there's time to do so. My suggestion, just to start off, is that we set a date of September 1st for all of us to get any thoughts or ideas in. And then once we do that, Lauren and I and whoever, we'll compile them all and we'll put them on a list. And then we would have a meeting where everybody has their thoughts and ideas and then we can go through them at that time. So what I'm saying right now is we have these council rules changes that we want to make, like if the council chair isn't doing something correctly, then I could get removed from my position, for example. Other people may have other thoughts and ideas, and I know we're already in August. I'd like to give everybody a couple weeks to really sit down, one night or two or three, to really read through it, come up with your thoughts, suggestions and ideas and edits, and then send them in, and then we collect everybody's ideas together, and then we have a night where we can talk about everything that's on the table. And what are your thoughts on that? Go right
Well,
ahead.
I think to Lisa's point, we have this retreat coming up, and I actually think that would be a good opportunity to discuss those at the retreat in September.
What is the date of that?
I don't know if it'd be good.
That's what it's about.
Or,
I mean, it depends on what's on the agenda for the retreat. I mean, is
Yeah.
that,
so
must
could
have
we,
other
The
items.
22nd.
the 22nd, so
Thank you.
would you guys be opposed to, gals, would you be opposed to getting your thoughts at least out then, to have them in a month? I mean, actually, it's a month, almost a month.
Yeah, it's over a month. It's already
I
been.
mean, what are
over
your
a
thoughts,
month.
Councilor Gass?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's already been,
Yes.
since, over a month, since the election. So, it's important for us to finish this up and get on to our other business. I think everybody was supposed to send stuff to you and Lauren and get it, get their thoughts in there. I hate to keep kicking this down the road. I guess I would be willing to consider, I know we run into a problem with having to get the agenda set for the next meeting, but that would be the 18th, but we don't have to actually have the packets out till a couple of days in advance, or a few days in advance. I mean, I would love to get this done at the next meeting. I guess that's my point. I think there's usually a lot of other stuff that we're doing at the retreat. There's, you know, priority setting and you know, I don't know. We could wait till then, but I think this is something we can remove from the table and get it done.
What's the date of retreat?
9/22.
So if we, say for example, we said December 1st and we got everything in, then there's no reason we couldn't have a conversation about this at our meeting on, was it the 18th? What is the other?
9/22.
9/20, no, our
No,
regular
our
council
regular
meeting.
Of course. So
Because-
yes, if council submits their recommendations.
So what's our next, what's our, I have it right here.
Our
in
next
front.
meeting is the 18th.
All right, so if, you know,
I think
there's no
that's
reason we couldn't begin that conversation at one of these meetings.
Right, I
Could be a
think,
little quicker.
I think the
I
18th
think
would-
it would be.
I
could be
agree.
good.
I'd
I
like
I
to
agree.
do
That's kind of a compromise, because I
Yep.
don't want to wait till,
I
as
wanna
Ann
do it
said,
at
the
the retreat.
9/22,
Yeah.
sometimes they have their own agenda on thing, I mean, we get input, but they have their own
Well,
agenda.
it's our agenda, right?
Yes.
We're the council, it's our retreat, so, but I think there may be more, you know, other things that we need
Mhm.
to grapple with. So I would just, and this is our operating rules, you know, I think
Mhm.
we should fix, you know, finalize them and move ahead.
I agree.
So would you folks be okay with, again, submission by September 1st? And then we would put
No,
this,
because she said the next meeting is
The next
August.
meeting is-
Yeah,
you're gonna get all your information in by the next meeting?
I can, because I had mine already done right here.
Oh, look at you.
Oh, you're saying August 18th.
August 18th,
Okay.
yeah.
I was like,
Can I
is there a
clarify,
meeting?
please?
Yep,
No,
please.
no.
The information is
Like,
just going to be
sitting here trying to
submitted. We are
figure
not
out
going
what
to
is-
change anything on the actual document itself for that meeting.
No, I think that it's gonna be, it would be for discussion only.
I just want to make sure because the time is.
There's no way, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Discussion only on the next
So
one.
it'd
So
be
you can get
discussion
this and
only.
then do a new draft, and we can see the new draft? Is that what you're gonna do?
That's what I was saying, then there would be no new draft for the 18th.
No, we could have it, we'd have it on the docket, but we wouldn't,
That's what I'm asking.
then we could just put information in and just talk about it.
But if we don't, I mean, I don't want to talk about it more if we can't all see what
Right,
what
I
each
need to see
other's
the
thoughts
Well, that's what I'm
are.
saying, we'll have
Yeah.
our information, I'm saying, we'll have our information in, we will to talk about it.
Okay.
But we wouldn't make it, in theoretically.
They wouldn't have to update the draft?
Yes.
Okay, as long as, I mean, I don't really care with that, as long as we can talk substantively about whatever changes are proposed.
Hmm?
So if it's the, oh shoot, I'm just looking at my calendar here.
So it won't be on a draft, change draft?
We will not have time to update the draft if you submit.
So we won't know what the changes are.
Well,
that
when
everybody
would we
wants.
have to submit?
So do we
Lauren?
say by the,
Or-
by next, not this Thursday, next Thursday, the 13th? Is that time for you to, what time, just to,
We will see the changes, right? I mean, are we gonna see the changes and,
you're gonna, yeah, what would happen is you would send them in to
Ultimately,
Lauren and
yes.
I, and then we would compile them and send them back out, because we cannot have correspondence with all of us on email.
yeah, well, wouldn't Lauren be doing this?
Well, Lauren would be doing it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I would request, because of the time, would be that if you're going to submit your changes, that the 9/1 meeting would be where we would
Mhm.
add them to the, we would revise the actual document, and then you would see that for the 9/1
One meeting, yeah. So basically, we would say, have changes into you by 9,
No,
no, 8/13?
yes,
8/13, and then we would talk about it at the meeting on the 18th, and then September 1st would be the one where we would.
see the revisions
Try to
on the
read it.
actual
Yes.
document.
Does that seem fair for everybody?
Great.
Okay, so changes. All right. Okay, so changes by 8/13. And we can add it to the agenda on, I can still say future agenda date, we can just add it. Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion, and I'm gonna, to table resolve number 2627-1, reaffirming rules for town council meetings and workshops to a future council agenda. At this point, we're gonna take a vote, all in favor?
A second, first off, a
Yeah,
second.
we have to sec.
You should take a vote on this one, I
Alright.
think, according to, and then, all right, cool. All right, so that's beautiful, all right, so again, changes in by 8/13, we'll talk about it on 8/18, and then hopefully we'll have something to go over on 9/1. Okay. Okay. Okay, next up is order number 2627-4, Committee and Affiliations Policy. Resolve number 2627-4, Committee and Affiliations Policy. Motion is to remove resolve, or order number 2627-4, Committee and Affiliations Policy from the table for further discussion. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Beautiful, okay. All in favor?
I don't think we need a vote. We just, we
I
have
think
to-
that's,
Okay.
I just pulled
for
it
the
from my
table.
previous
Okay,
one. I
great.
just
Yep,
pulled it from my
yep.
previous
Okay,
ones.
sorry.
No, that's done, okay, that's okay. We're a team. So, all right, so next is be resolved that the Gray Town Council hereby reaffirms committee and affiliations policy as amended to remain in full force and effect until amended by future council action. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
Perfect, okay. At this time, we'll open the floor for public discussion on this motion.
Did we miss rebranding and everything?
No, we're just at the beginning. Would anybody like to come up to the mic?
Am I crazy?
Kyle, is there anybody online?
No one has raised their hand.
Right?
Okay, so
We
at
missed
this
Registrar.
time,
Oh, yeah,
all
we
public
did.
comment is
We've missed them
concluded.
all.
What did we
The
miss?
You've missed a whole
The
bunch.
resolves,
Ah, you're kidding, where?
Yeah.
rebranding, registrar
No, that's
appointment.
after, that's new business. We're
That's
still
new
Yeah, we're
on
business,
still in
we're
old
still on,
business.
well, we're still at the very beginning.
No, well, you said the agenda that I have, it
Yeah,
unfinished
I'm
business is
sorry,
old
but it's not
business.
that way on our
And
agenda.
then new business says
Hold on,
business licenses,
hold on.
resolves.
That's not how I have it.
Maybe, I mean, I pulled this on
This is-
Sunday, this agenda.
I have old, yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and what I have first is after public comments is old business. That,
Yeah.
old business would always come first,
Right?
Yeah, no,
Council
yeah, the only
rules.
thing we have on
which is
ours-
council rules and committee affiliations policy.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have that.
No, hang on.
Here, look, this is the printout.
Yeah, it is different than, online's the right one, so.
Oh,
So I,
You're right, no, yes, yeah.
oh, we don't have the right one, we printed the wrong, we printed.
We didn't print them.
Yeah, so the one that I pulled from this is the website one. It's
She's got the website.
pull the
Yeah.
website up when
I'm
I'm
on
looking
the-
at it right now.
old business.
The one we got printed
Oh, I see.
before and doesn't have
The
the
old-
right
Okay, that has
agenda.
changed since I
That's
pulled
okay,
it. Yeah.
that's okay. So the first thing now on old business, which we just did, was council
Council
rules.
rules, okay,
And the
yeah.
next is committee and affiliations.
Okay,
So again,
it changed.
that's okay, so basically, we're open right now we closed public comments, we're open
Yep.
for discussion amongst us.
Okay.
And this is similar to what we just discussed, which was, I would like to see if the people who are liaisons to these committees, if the chairs of these committees would have some time to go through these to submit any changes they want. Now, do we want to do on this, do we want us to do the same thing and say August, I don't have my calendar up again, was August, they said August 13th to submit your changes, August 18th to talk?
Point
They
of order.
had- they-
Has someone reached out to them to let them all know?
Mhm.
Who?
Each committee?
Yes, the council chair.
That's a
the
good
They
committee
had a
chairs.
deadline,
Yeah.
they had a
The committee
deadline.
chairs all had a deadline.
Okay.
Okay, so again, I would say,
This was September 15th, we had already talked about this being back on the agenda on September 15th.
okay, so my question is, do we want to do these all at once, or do we want to say by September 1st, get these changes and then do it on the,
I know, I think September 15th is right because
Or what's-
Resiliency didn't have this on their agenda when they met, and so they'll have to talk in August.
okay, so if
The
we
August
said, all right,
meeting.
so if we said September
open space
1st, so we would be okay if we said September 1st submission of
Yeah,
changes, and then, what's the?
The 15th was the
Is it
next.
15th? All right. Okay, perfect. Then let's do that. Okay, so I think we're all in agreement with that. All right, so the motion is going to be to table resolve 2627-4, Committee and Affiliations Policy, to a future council agenda. And at this point, I'm going to put it forward to a vote.
Because we already did, didn't we?
No, we don't have a date.
We tabled it till the 15th, I thought.
Well, we can,
Okay.
this will do it right now. So
All right.
basically, we're gonna basically, again, to table 2627-4, Committee and Affiliations Policy to a future council date, or a council agenda. All in favor? Okay, beautiful. We have 4 with Mike stepping out. And so, okay, so that will be good. So again, September 1st, submission of information from the committees, and then we'll have it on the agenda for this 15th.
That'd be good.
Thank you. Okay, so now up.
Yeah,
I know, it's confusing, yeah. So now up, we're doing the resolves, which are, under number 9, there's 4 of them.
Okay. I can
I know
follow
you
Got
you.
them, got them.
You know. Okay. So, okay. So these are 1 reading required. Resolve number 2627-8, rebranding initiative. And the motion is be resolved that the town council approves discontinuation of all rebranding related expenditures and no additional funds shall be spent unless specifically approved by the town council. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Okay, beautiful. At this time, we'll open up the floor for public discussion on the motion. And again, the 3-minute time limit is in effect, and the conversation needs to stay on topic. Is there anybody who would like to come up? Kyle, is there anyone online?
Yes, there is. I'm going to allow Lisa's mic. Lisa, unmute yourself and you can speak.
Hi, Lisa, Elena Gilmore. It's my understanding that the town logo has already been paid for. And just like the town seal, there's no additional cost of using it. If we want to put it on a banner or on some volunteer awards, there's no further cost. Use the seal or the logo. It's the same difference. Residents had the opportunity to provide input regarding the logo during the design process. And a couple hundred townspeople did give input. That was the appropriate time to voice if you had any preferences. How you feel about the logo and how you feel about rebranding is a matter of opinion. There's no more ongoing monies involved, so this issue is moot. I respectfully suggest the council drop this subject and move on to important issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Anybody else online, Kyle?
No one is raising their hand.
All right, great. Thank you very much. At this time, the public comments are now closed on this item. I would like to now open the floor for council discussion, starting with the first motion, which would be you, Councilor Simon.
Me?
Yes.
All right, so I brought this up because I did see a lot of input from this on the rebranding on Facebook and different people that had come forward about this, and I hadn't heard anybody that was in favor of it. So I don't know how it got approved in the first place. We did spend an awful lot of money on it. We can't get it back, of course, but it doesn't mean we need to put good money on bad money. It does cost money to change a brand, usually when you do a reprinting of something. Sometimes there's a new cost to it. I think it was, I don't think it was necessary. And I don't like moving forward with things that are not necessary. And I understand, Lisa, that you feel that we need to move on. I agree, we need to move on, but I do not want to move on with that rebrand. I think it needs to be nipped in the bud and done. So that is my thoughts on that.
Councilor Edson.
I concur. I sit here right now and I look at the podium and I look at that seal and I like that very much. I'm not a fan of the one that we ended up with. I think it's a very simple, it's just, I think it's a disappointment myself. I mean, I like our little woolen mill. But I'm definitely not in favor of changing all the jackets and shirts and coats and all the paraphernalia that we have to try to put this new logo that I just think does a disservice to our town, really. It's just, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. I feel the same way the Auburn residents do about theirs, what they got from the same company.
Councilor Guess?
Honestly, I feel like with everything that we have going on, this is pretty small potatoes. I think, you know, Kyle went through a process with, you know, town residents contributing and came up with a proposal that the council approved. And it just seems like, I don't know, it just seems like a waste of time because like Lisa said, the money's been spent. And also, you know, it's tough when it's tough on the staff, it's tough on the town. I think it's confusing for people when the council can say, oh, we're doing this, but no, a new council comes in and now we're not gonna do that anymore. And I think it sort of sets a bad precedent. I think we should just continue with the rebranding.
When you say the people had a choice, they didn't really get a choice about the actual design. We got a choice really about the words, right? Like at the heart of it all or something. Wasn't that our choice? But nobody had a choice about the design that they picked.
I could speak to this if you folks
Thanks.
are interested. So what the steering committee for this branding project did is issue a survey to the town that asked residents and business owners and community members what they thought Gray's visual identity meant. What does Gray represent? And so with that input, we learned people generally like colors that reflect nature. People like the history behind the town, like the panel clock tower, the landscape, our lakes and such. And all of that feedback was given to the creatives at Portland Design Company, and that's how you see the logo we received.
Wow.
Councilor Johnson?
Yeah, it's interesting, 'cause that's not how I read this, by the way. All I read in here is that we are deciding not to just rebrand everything, that when we do buy new jackets and stuff like that, you've got to go to Lauren for permission to do it, and she'll decide if you do it. So all I read on this is that we're just not going to rebrand everything right now, and we're not necessarily getting rid of it. It's just that we're not going out and buying everything and rebranding everything. Is that kind of what this says?
We just want to get rid of it. We just want to stop doing it.
That's not what this says, though. Be resolved that the town council approves the discontinuation of all rebranding-related expenditures, and no additional funds shall be spent unless specifically approved by the town council.
There you go. That's perfect.
Yeah, but that's not.
It's not, what he's saying is, he's correct. He's saying that it doesn't say to discontinue the new logo and go back to the old logo. It just says stop all rebranding related expenditures.
Isn't that the same?
No, because it really isn't. It's just a technicality, but, you know, I just want to do, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it right. I mean, I honestly don't give a shit. You know, it's just, I mean, we got so much else on the plate. This is not that big of a deal.
This is going to be a 5-minute conversation.
You
and
know,
be done with it.
I don't really care. Either way, it makes no difference to me. I mean, you know, we spent a lot of money on it. I don't know. It makes no difference to me. I'm fine with the new logo, you know, but to Ann's point, I will say to Ann's point, I do agree that, you know, we can't change everything that the last council did just because, you know, I did see online, I did see people that liked it. I saw people that didn't like it, but that's not everything that we do. I mean, there's just 50 shades of gray on everything. So again, with me, I don't really care, but if that's your goal, that's not what this says.
I know, it is true.
Okay.
I mean, ultimately, to stop rebranding, you would want to stop the rebrand.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I want to stop the rebrand.
Yeah, I do too.
So I wouldn't vote for this. I would change it if you guys, that's what your goal is. I would not vote for this. Because it, you know, I would, you know.
Redo it.
You need to redo it.
Redo it.
Redo it. So, you know.
Okay, we'll redo it. Just
Again,
put it on
it's,
something
you know,
else.
it's a little bit of water under the bridge.
We don't need to spend any more time on it. We'll fix
Nothing
it.
that I would approve. I think, I get what they're saying, but the reality is nobody moves to a town and they say, I'm moving to a town because that's the new logo, number one. And number two, in a couple of years with the Village Transformation Project, we're gonna be tearing up the streets. We're gonna be doing all this work for a good year. When that was completed, this is when that should have come out. And I know people say, well, it's TIF money. TIF money's money.
Yeah.
So I just think we need to be, as a town, I can tell you, if on my watch, I'm going to make sure this doesn't happen. This was not a good expenditure of money, and so I guess at this time, if you would want to, please absolutely go ahead.
What I'd like to do, you know, we don't want to keep dragging everything out, right? And that's what we do. But it would be really nice to get input. I mean, Kyle can put a survey up online. And do a vote and just see what the town wants. I mean, I don't want to make these, I don't really, again, I don't care, but, you know, it would be interesting to see what the town wants, and then if they don't want it, let's get rid of it. If they want it, then we'll keep it. I think it's that simple, and then move on. I mean, we're making too much out of it, right?
I just saw a lot of stuff on
I-
Facebook
yeah.
that said they didn't want to do it, it was a waste of money. So
Yeah,
it's
but
like-
that's on the pages that you're on, that's, you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
right,
So, just to be
exactly.
fair.
I think the challenge, and we all see this for various reasons, is that it's the same individuals online. And that's the
Yeah.
problem with the negatives, with the positives. And so I think it's, something we could table to think about. I think the thought right now is, I'm a Patriots fan. If I want to go buy some logo for Pats, I should be able to do it. When I worked for my prior company, they had a store. If I wanted to buy a Medtronic t-shirt, I'd go buy it. I think we're not in the business of buying gear
Well,
for
we have
everybody.
spent money
Now,
already
obviously,
on
things
this.
like work boots and things, that's absolutely something we should be doing. But on some things like this, I just think it's a little excessive. So I think I'd like to see us maybe address this, and I'd like to see, instead of the town council controlling it, maybe put that expenditure and give that to Lauren and let Lauren.
It's her job.
Let Lauren say, hey, is that an expenditure we need? And then Lauren can do that.
Yep.
Is what I like to see. But
I agree.
I think if we wanted to reword that and table it, and then we could come back to it.
Reword.
That's
Yeah.
reword and table.
Yeah.
I would like to.
Please, you.
I would like to clarify that if you're going to change you should vote this down.
Yeah. Yep.
And then you need a whole new, like if you
Yes.
want to
Okay,
change.
yeah, let's
absolutely.
do that.
Perfect.
You
Yep.
wouldn't amend
Vote it
this one, you
down.
would vote this one down.
Absolutely, yep.
Yep.
So
And I do, if I may,
you may.
I just would like to say that we haven't gotten rid of the town seal. They are working in conjunction with each other. I just want to make that clear, so you do know that we haven't gotten rid of the original seal. We still use that. I just wanted to let you know that. We do have both that are working in conjunction with each other, so,
You know,
yeah.
I mean,
And if-
I'm.
yeah.
Go ahead. No, go. I
No,
mean,
that's fine, and I can certainly have Kyle put together a survey if that's something that council would like us to do.
Yeah, I just think you can't go by, Ann's group, you can't go by Judy's group, because, everyone leans one way or the other, and so a survey of the whole town would be great.
Okay. All right, so what we're going to do at this time, I'm going to say, be resolved that the town council approves the discontinuation of all rebranding-related expenditures, and no additional funds shall be spent unless approved by the town council.
No, we're voting.
All in favor?
Okay,
No.
yeah, okay, go.
Then don't vote.
Yeah.
All in favor? All opposed?
Well, I-
And the resolution does not
Yeah.
pass.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. All right, so the resolution does not pass. All right, perfect.
Painful.
Okay. Okay, next up is going to be Resolve 2627-9, Registrar Appointment. And it's going to say, let's see. Be resolved that the Grade Town Council designates interim town manager Lauren Aslin as the Town of Gray's Registrar of Voters until a new town clerk is hired. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Have a second?
Second.
Beautiful, all right, so I'm gonna say Mike and Ann. All right, so at this time, we are gonna open up the floor for public discussion on this motion. The 3-minute time limit is in effect, and the conversation must stay on topic. Those wishing to speak, please come up to the podium. Kyle, is there anyone online?
No one has raised their hand.
All right, beautiful. Okay, so at this time, the public comments are now closed on this item. I would now like to open the floor for council discussion, starting with the first motion, which would be Councilor Johnson.
I think, we don't have any choice, we gotta do it. Let's just do this
I
and
made
move
the
on.
second motion, I agree,
Beautiful.
concur.
Yeah, and then Councilor Gass?
Yeah, I mean, actually, it was Pam, I think, who said it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Pam?
Yeah, I said I concur.
Okay. Beautiful. So I guess at this point, we can put forward to a vote, which would be, again, Resolve 2627-9, be resolved that the Gray Town Council designates interim town manager Lauren Aslin as the Town of Gray's Registrar of Voters until a new town clerk is hired. All in favor? All opposed? Okay, beautiful.
Wow, that was good.
Resolve passes. There we go. All right.
Now we're on a roll.
Now we're cooking.
Multitask up here.
Okay. Okay, next up is Resolve 2627-1, Acting Town Clerk Appointment.
1-0.
2627-10, Acting Town Clerk Appointment. Okay. Be resolved that the Gray Town Council designate interim town manager Lauren Aslan as the Town of Gray's acting town clerk until a new town clerk is hired. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, beautiful. At this time, we'll open the floor for public discussion on the motion. The 3-minute time limit is in effect, and the conversation must stay on topic.
Hi.
Hi.
Maureen Gilbert on Dotton Hill Road. I just wanted to say that, Lauren, it sounds like you're going to be wearing a lot of hats. And with the upcoming election, just a little worried, with everything that you'll be doing, like perfectly fine with, you being appointed, but just nervous about, the town clerk not being here as we're moving towards the November election. So, Lauren, I hope you don't plan to work 80 hours a week and you can take some vacation.
We do have some very educated employees that, we have a deputy town clerk, Judy Rand. She is handling a lot of that. We have 2 assistant town clerks, Carissa and Cassie. They are involved as well. So we do have some great staff.
Okay.
So luckily, I'm not on my own. So yeah, I appreciate your concerns though and bringing those up. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to come up? Kyle, is there anyone online?
No one is raising their hand.
All right, thank you. So at this time, we're going to close out public comment on this item. And going to open up to council feedback. So Councilor Johnson.
Same as before. I
Beautiful.
just vote.
Councilor Gass?
I'm sorry, say that again?
There's any feedback?
No.
Okay, beautiful.
None.
Okay,
None.
fantastic. Okay, so the motion is going to be resolved that the Gray Town Council designate interim town manager Lauren Aslan as the Town of Gray's acting town clerk until a new town clerk is hired. All in favor? All opposed? All right, 5-0. Beautiful. Thank you. Next up is Resolve 2627-11, Acting Town Manager Appointment. Motion is be ordered, notwithstanding any previous order of the council to the contrary, in the absence of the town manager manager's designee shall serve as acting town manager. In the event of the town manager's removal from office, the finance director shall serve as acting town manager until such time as the council appoints a successor.
So moved.
Do I have a movement? All right, Mike, second?
I'll second.
Beautiful, thank you, Ann. At this time, we will open the floor for public discussion on this motion. The 3-minute time limit is in effect, and conversation must stay on topic. Those wishing to speak, please come up to the podium. Okay, Kyle, is there anybody online?
No one who has raised
All
their
right,
hand.
thank you very much. Okay, at this time, the public comments are now closed on this item. I would now like to open the floor for council discussion, starting with Mr. Johnson.
There's nobody left. So, yeah, I think Justine did a great job.
Beautiful. Councilor Gass?
Yes, it's fine.
Okay, anybody have any additional feedback or questions?
I don't know, how did we arrive at that? I mean, that was just,
So previously, a previous town manager had presented to council, and it was adopted that the human resources director would be acting town manager, and town clerk Britt Barton, specifically named, would be second acting. So Britt is no longer with us, and it is beneficial to not name particular employees,
Yeah.
and staff positions
Right.
would be the better choice. So this gives the town manager the ability to choose an employee to be acting in their absence if they know they're going to be out of the office based on available staff. And then if the town manager is removed for any reason, the finance director becomes the acting town manager because they control the money, and that is one of the more important roles in the town. So that is the reasoning behind this.
Actually, a point of order, I don't think they can be.
So
I don't think that the finance director can be the town manager.
acting.
Acting.
Under-
Yeah, actually, I don't think they can be. I think we need
control
to,
the money.
I'm pretty sure we need to change this because we ran into that. We need to get a lawyer's opinion on
I
that.
actually, this is the lawyer's.
It is? Okay, all right, because I thought
Yes.
they couldn't be, because, okay.
Yeah.
No, thank you for bringing
All
that.
right.
That's a good point to
Yeah.
bring up. We want to make sure we're doing things accurately.
Too.
I appreciate that.
Yep, no problem.
Nope,
Is
good.
this for like a 1 year? Is this for? how
No,
long is
this
it
would
for?
be so as, no, as it says right there, until such a time the council appoints a successor.
Okay.
So
So-
if she has a heart attack and dies, sorry, and, you know,
gonna say
and
you
so
broke your leg.
whoever that position is, whoever's there, would take over until we get to meet and choose. This is because usually you have a time to sit together and decide, because you know something's coming up. This would just be somebody that would take over just for a couple
I
days
understand.
typically.
So it could be a week, could
But
be,
it typically would have been the town clerk if we had a
No,
town?
it wouldn't have been.
Okay.
It wouldn't have been.
no question?
I do want to say, though, it is not typical to have an order such as this in
I
place.
know, we've never had that
But
before.
since we do have one, it needs to be amended to at least reflect a position, not a name.
So could we get rid of this when we're getting ready to do the policy change? Because isn't it in the past, at least when I was employed here, that the town manager in her, you know, in her absence, appointed somebody that she felt?
Yes,
I
that
mean,
is,
wouldn't that be the,
it wouldn't have to be an official resolve
No.
or an order. But since it is on the books as an order,
okay,
and that was a council decision, I'm just amending the current to reflect the more appropriate wording.
Point of order. I guess the question is, can we get rid of it?
If you wanted to.
Get rid of anything you want, we can, sure.
Yeah, you can put something forward at a future meeting, yes, to
Okay.
remove that, you know.
Oh, and where is it? Where is it? Is it
I
in
know,
a?
where is it? It got added, must have been added by the last town manager?
Yes,
Okay.
and I actually have the dates and everything from 2023. I actually have that order, so you can rescind, we can.
Let's do that at the
Put that
next
at the
meeting.
following
Yeah, let's,
meeting.
Let's
can
not-
we just vote for this now, get it through, and
Yeah.
then rescind
You
it at the
can,
next meeting?
yes.
Okay, just so we have it legal, and then
Yeah, we can-
do
we
that.
can get rid of
It's only for
anything
2 weeks.
anything you want.
All right, well, can we get rid of it at the next meeting?
Yeah,
I'm gonna put a note here to.
Thank you, Laura.
Okay, so let's move forward then. So at this time, we're going to say the motion, order notwithstanding any previous order of the council to the contrary, in the absence of the town manager's designee shall serve as acting town manager. In the event of the town manager's removal from office, the finance director shall serve as acting town manager until such a time as the council appoints a successor. All in favor? All opposed? Okay, beautiful. There you go, thank you. Okay, next up is one reading required. And next up is order number 2627-6, approval of interim town manager contract. Motion be ordered that the Gray Town Council hereby approves the interim town manager contract with Lauren Aslan effective June 2nd, 2026, and authorizes the council chair to execute the agreement on behalf of the town. Do I have a motion?
second.
All right, so you go, all right. Okay, at this time, we'll open the floor for public discussion or comment. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes and must stay on topic. Would anybody like to come up to the microphone? Kyle, do we have anyone online?
No one who has raised their hand.
Okay, beautiful. So at this time, the public hearing is closed on this item. We will now open the floor for council discussion on this item, starting with Councilor Johnson.
No, I actually can.
Did she beat you?
Okay.
I don't have any discussion.
All right. You know, I'm really excited to have Lauren here. She's done a great job so far with all the, it seems like everyone we put in this role, it just gets more and more stressful. So you've handled it really well. I appreciate you stepping up, and hopefully you won't run away and maybe a full-time one. So thank you.
Thank you, Mike. I
Councilor Gass?
appreciate that.
Yeah, ditto.
And you said Councilor Edson, you're good?
I'm good.
Yeah, I also wanted to say, I think she's taken off an awful lot of different positions, so thank you for that, appreciate it. I also wanted to say on her contract, could you just please put her first name on there as well, instead of just saying Aslin?
Is that what it?
Yeah,
We're
all
not-
through
we're
it
not
just
at
says,
that yet.
is it supposed to,
We're
isn't it
not
just to
at
say
that yet.
Lauren Aslin instead of Aslin? That's a good little
Well, that's
thing. Just more
Reference there.
professional.
Yeah, they refer to.
I didn't write it.
Okay, well, just not very professional, that's all.
I know.
We're not there yet.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
If you don't care and you want to
so,
sign it,
yeah.
go ahead, but.
My concern is I don't know if we're giving you enough to do. All right, beautiful. Let's move
Valid
forward.
concern.
Yes, let's move forward. Be ordered that the Gray Town Council hereby approves the interim town manager contract with Lauren Aslin effective June 2nd, 2026, and authorizes the council chair to execute the agreement on behalf of the town. All in favor? All opposed? All right, beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Yes,
Thank you
you,
very
Lauren.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
All
it.
right.
We're getting near your piece. You've been very patient. We're getting there. Next up is ADS. You've got that, right? Okay, beautiful. Next up is order number 2627-7, ADU ordinance. The motion is the town of Gray hereby ordains that the town of Gray shall adopt the proposed amendments to accessory dwelling unit section on the zoning ordinance chapter 402.7.9.
So moved.
All right, beautiful.
I'll
Motion.
second.
Mike, second? Beautiful, all right, Mike. First off, give me 1 second, I'm just gonna ask, at this time, is there anybody, we're gonna open the floor for public comment, is there anybody that would like to come up?
Point of order, I think Kristen should speak first.
Okay, that's fine.
Because that way they may have questions, so if that's okay.
I
Yeah.
think that's okay. Thank you for being here this evening, as always.
Good evening, council. We're going to start off with the tough one. So this one is the accessory dwelling units, also known as in-law apartments. Right now in the town, you can only have one of those on a single-family home. Come next July, the town will be required to allow them on a two-family, a duplex, or a three-family as well, to add an accessory dwelling unit. And as a reminder, these are limited to 800 square feet max. They are meant as being subordinate accessory to the principal dwelling unit. This was put down by state law, as you may recall, the LD 1829 changes that we've been trying to work in, and we expected it to go into effect this month. And our code office had been advising people that it would be, so there were some people who planned to be able to do this and had projects in the works and expected to be able to install their ADUs and get permits for them come July. And as you know, the state has pushed off implementation of that law until next July. So now we have some people who are caught a little bit in the limbo of not being able to complete their project and holding off for another year. So we decided to bring it up to you as a council to say, do you have any interest in implementing that specific section of the law changes only about a year early to help out those folks who got kind of stuck in the middle? So there are the changes to 40279, again, that's very specifically only the accessory dwelling unit section of the zoning ordinance that we're talking about. There are some other changes in there that were put in for legal updates and per code office input to make their job easier, make things clearer in implementing some of the other elements regarding accessory dwelling units. You have the full strike-through underline. We can certainly go through it line by line if you want. But the core element of it is being able to allow an ADU on more than just a single-family home. So that's what's before you tonight.
Perfect.
Can we ask questions?
Yeah, so first off, no, we're going to do public comment first, and then we'll get to our comment. So, at this time, is there anyone who would like to come up to speak?
Yeah, I was I'm actually one of the,
Dave?
it's Barry Pollen and 87 Depot Street.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Mike.
Bought a property, it's about a year and a half now when this law first came out. And I sold the house in Gorham, and I bought a duplex with a garage. So the footprint hasn't changed, but I'm putting an ADU above the garage, and this is to assist my parents coming up here. So I'm one of the people that are working with the code enforcer, and I've been through doing everything. Like I, put a new septic leach field in, and updated windows and stuff, and just looking for you guys to consider, making it go just through a little bit quicker than another year. That's all. And I guess I am allowed to make a space above there, but I just can't. I can do everything except for put the kitchen in.
Just the stove?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at. But
Sir, do you live at that property?
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't? So
No.
where your in-laws are moving, you're not living there?
No, I'm not living there. But I live in New Gloucester.
Okay.
I live right next door.
Okay.
Great. Excellent. Thank you.
Yep.
Is there anybody else that would like to come up to speak? Kyle, is there anyone online?
No one to talk about this.
Okay, so at this time, the public hearing is closing this item. Now we'll open up to councilor discussion, starting with Councilor Johnson.
So Kristen, is this just what we're talking about tonight? The changes are exactly what we're gonna have to do anyways in July? Is that the case?
Correct.
And you said there's some other changes in there. Are we voting on that tonight as well? Or is it just, we're voting on just what he talked about?
It's being presented to you as a complete package the way it would be if you were to implement it next July. And
Okay.
like I said, that includes some of changes that were suggested by our attorney to match with the state law, and from our code office. Our code officers who actually are on the ground related to driveways, some of the other kind of details of implementing these in-law apartment type of things.
So is there anything that's significantly different that we need to know about? Because I'm not gonna spend my time reading everything.
Yep.
It's pretty dry.
Yep, the big piece is that you'd be able to put it on a duplex or a three-family going forward. That's the big change.
Where I come up is it per unit? So if I'm in, one unit, can I have one and all three units have one?
No,
Oh, okay.
you're limited to one ADU per property per the ordinance right now.
Okay, and how does it work with like a condo?
So a condo is a form of ownership. We don't look at that, it's ownership blind when we're talking about this. We're talking about dwelling units. So
Okay.
we don't care who owns it. And the owner occupancy provision, to Pam's point, is gone, and you can't have it because of state law.
So if this young man, yeah, exactly. So my question, I guess, if this young man takes a 3-unit and condos it out, right? Each condo could have an ADU.
No, it's per property. No. Condo,
Okay.
we don't care about ownership as far as, condo or
Okay.
apartment or whatever.
Okay.
That's
All
not
right,
part
I
of
got
the
it.
discussion
All right.
for codes.
Councilor Gass?
Yeah, I actually did go through it in some detail, and I had a couple of questions. On packet page 98, 402.7.9, and under that, what's now listed as, let's see, I guess it's
90
now
inches in.
3, although it's a little bit confusing the
It
way,
is.
I'm looking at the lined out copy. And it says that the ADUs are prohibited in, on, or within one or more principal commercial uses. And I'm just curious if you could tell us why that restriction exists. I'm thinking about apartments above a storefront, for example, or, that are, we have them in gray now, and they're a long-standing development pattern in towns and villages across the state and in cities. So I'm just kind of wondering why that would be in there.
I think that language is held over from the old ordinance, from the
Okay.
in-law apartment ordinance that
I
pre-existed.
wouldn't be surprised,
We
yeah.
could certainly edit that. I think the idea was that it was supposed to be accessory to a residential use. So it's supposed to be a home that has an accessory apartment. It's not supposed to be a business that has an
Right.
accessory apartment.
Right. Makes-
If a
yeah.
business is gonna have an apartment, it should be a full-blown apartment. I think that was the idea.
Okay.
But we could certainly look into that and
Yeah,
amend that language.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, and is there anything in the new state law that would preclude that from happening? I mean,
Preclude you from having an ADU accessory to
To
a
a
commercial
commercial property?
unit? I believe it needs to be accessory to a resident,
Okay.
principal dwelling unit.
okay.
But I can double check that.
Are there other, do we have other ordinances in place that would allow that to happen, to have an ADU with a commercial? Oh, I guess.
So it wouldn't be considered an ADU, because
It
that's
would just be an
accessory
apartment
to a
building.
principal
Okay.
dwelling unit. But
Okay.
right now, in your ordinance, you allow housing anywhere.
Okay.
There's no zoning district
Okay.
that disallows housing.
Okay.
So
That-
you could have a commercial business and a place to live.
That makes sense to me.
Yep.
I don't think we need to do any further with that. And then, number 8, below, seems to conflict with, oh, never mind. I think you've answered my question. I'm gonna go to packet page 99, aesthetics. And that's sort of near the bottom of the page. Number 3 has to do with any exterior alteration of the existing dwelling unit associated with the construction or installation of an accessory dwelling unit. And it just says that it must preserve the formal front entrance of the building in order to maintain the residential appearance and architectural style of the building. And that seemed overly restrictive to me, and I wondered why that was, why that's important to have there, because I mean, especially with some of the older housing stock, I can envision a scenario where, as part of adding the ADU, it might make more sense to reconstruct the principal entrance, maybe to make it more accessible to the occupants, or remodeling that entrance need not make it conflict with the architectural style, I guess, depending on how it's done. So could you just comment on that?
Yeah, again, that's older language. That's holdover language for that whole aesthetics section. So if that's something that's, not important to the town at this point, so it's certainly something you could strike that we could amend.
Yeah.
I think it was just intended to keep them from kind of looking like there wasn't a main entrance, or like it's a big apartment building or something.
Yeah. I
Not
might
sure.
need to think about that a little bit more, but I'm concerned with just adding restrictions on these, so it makes it either prohibitively expensive to do, or or just too difficult, or I can remember, this is really not a great comparison, but decades ago, the towns used to zone mobile home parks in such a way that they couldn't be built. It'd be like they'd assign a zone in town where they theoretically could be built, but then in fact they could never meet the setback requirements or anything like that, or they were in a floodplain or something, And so I just don't want to, given the difficulty we have now in Maine with lack of housing being built, it just seems like we should be trying to be a little more expansive here. That's it for me.
And we're sure that these changes are going to be implemented, and they're not going to push it out again if we go and make this change tonight, and then they push it back on us again?
Can't speak for the state legislature.
I know, and that's
presumed to do
that's
so.
kind of scary, because it might get pushed out again, and then we're adopting it.
But
What about, Kristen, what about private roads? I actually had somebody call me today, because they were concerned about this, with people having, like this gentleman, obviously it's going to be 3 rental units, basically. I mean, so people that, and he's one, there could be others, and like private roads, where you own a home and you contribute to the price of the plowing and everything for private roads, and then we say that the people can all put an extra house or an extra dwelling unit. They're really kind of left holding the bag for these, because it's not like, like this particular person owned 2 pieces of property. And, he does have a kind of like an accessory dwelling unit on one piece. I mean, it is a house on one piece. But he pays he pays the money to his association for the plowing for the 2. But I'm just wondering, his question, and I said I would ask it tonight because I think it's a good question about private roads and how this could affect them with all the traveling and use, but there's no extra mola.
Point of order.
Oh, go ahead.
It has nothing to do with the town, because I'm the president of my road association. The road association, he would have to go to his road association, and they can change it, because I've done that before. And they could just say, any ADU, they have to pay. So we changed ours so that landowners didn't have to pay, but they came there and still used the land. So we've gone to, you pay this for a home, and you pay this for land. And but that's not up to the town, that's up to the road association. I'm correct, right?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
you could change that in your covenants, bylaws,
Yep.
and change how you charge. But yeah, that's outside of our purview. That's coming down from the state. They're letting you do these things with your land, so.
Councilor Semino?
Yep. I have issues with the ADUs that you can put them on. I'm not in favor of doing for duplexes, because I think Gray has a major issue with duplexes right now with the group homes. So my worry is that all of a sudden they got these group homes that, you know, and then all of a sudden they've got an ADU on the property with another group home on there. And I just feel that this is just like a major problem coming before us. And, you know, I mean, yeah, we do have to solve a problem for housing, but really it's not gonna, we don't wanna put in where we're gonna be putting ourselves in a bad position by having it open the doors for more problems of the group home issue. You know, and like for, you know, for a duplex to already have 2 units and then we're adding a 3rd unit, you know, I kind of worry that, why did the state stop? Is it because they were concerned about the 3rd unit? Why are they stopping, do you know?
No, the reason this was postponed a year is because they worked on a fixed bill, LD 2173, that made some changes, mostly that the municipalities were really pushing for. And they've made some important changes, so one of which we'll talk about when the growth ordinance comes up. They've made some key changes to the law, and in doing so, they gave towns and cities another year to do the implementation. They were not concerned about the density. That was not part of the consideration, no. But as a reminder, it's not gonna be up to the towns. It will have to go into place come next July.
Unless they change it, which they could do, because, I mean, they just changed it this
Yeah,
time.
they
So,
can
I mean,
do-
if all of a sudden we say yes,
Yeah.
We can take it away, though.
Yeah, so.
oh, and then we could take it away.
Yeah,
quickly.
so the reality is,
Okay.
if we pass this, and then the state says,
We're done with it.
we're
and then
done
we
with
go back and
it,
change
we
it.
can go back and change it. I feel at this point, we have residents in our community who have basically done all the right things, and they're being punished for it. It's how I look at it. And I think in our role, considering what we believe is going to happen, and right now that's what we look at, I just think the right thing is that we should assist them. That's kind of my opinion. And again, if the state down the line changed it and they just say we want to do it, then we can come back and change this. But I feel like the people that have done all the right things, like this gentleman and somebody else that has emailed us, sounds like they're doing all the right things. I just feel like, you know, they're being punished for being honest and kind of following the rules.
Point of order.
Yeah.
How many are there pending that want this?
How many pending? I believe the code office, mentioned to me like 2 or 3 max.
Okay, so how many have we had in the past? This is it, brand new, they haven't gone through before, so this is like the initial,
We've had them.
right?
I mean, there have been a lot of accessory dwelling units, through the years. This
Right,
accessory
this is
dwelling
just
unit's
on
been on the books for a long time.
duplex, though. This is
But as
because
far
it's
as,
duplex.
yeah, as far as asking for it on a duplex or triplex, that's new because they expected it to become law in July.
Okay.
So those are newer requests, obviously, because the answer was a hard no beforehand. And it still is a hard no right now. If you wanted to take a softer hand to this, we could do something kind of in between and allow them on duplexes, but not 3 families for now. And next July, go all the way with what the state's requiring of you. That could be a middle ground, potentially. Or you could say hard no right now and keep it the way it is.
I think it's
Or go all the
so,
way.
I think
Doesn't
it's so,
matter.
you know, to Ann's point on a comment she made earlier, we have so many other things going on. I think it's gonna be such a
Minor.
pinpoint minor thing that I don't think
Okay.
it's going to be a big difference. And
It
again,
is, we can change
if
it.
something does happen with the state, then we can change it down
Yeah.
the line.
And a quick point of order, like this gentleman said, you could still do it, just not have a stove. I think, isn't that the one thing you can't have in there, in the kitchen? Because you could always have a fridge in your house, you could have everything, but, because my mom ran into this,
Yeah.
she couldn't have a stove. And you know what happens as soon as they do the inspection? Guess what goes in?
Yeah.
It's a moot point. Let's just
Yeah, let's go.
vote and move
Yeah.
forward.
They can't eat out every night, right?
Yep.
Let's go.
Yeah, what?
I said they need a stove, they can't eat out every night.
Exactly.
Let's go.
So, all right,
Yeah,
let's do
wait,
this.
wait.
So with regards,
Wait, Pam,
yeah.
Pam has something to say?
Well, I just wanted to, well, you went and brought up the group homes. Could they actually do this? You know, I can think of one particular builder that has built a lot of these group homes down on Cocoa Lane, and could they conceivably do an accessory dwelling unit?
Yeah, so group homes are dealt with by law. The code office and planning have to view them the same as a single-family home. They're not viewed any differently than a single-family home or a residential use. So, yes, that has no bearing
So they could already do it.
on ADU or not.
What, like, not till next year?
On a single-family home that
Yeah.
is a group home, yes.
Yeah, so they can already do
On a
it.
duplex, no,
Duplexes,
and some of those are duplexes.
No, that's the
Jeremy.
only down there.
But keep in
Duplexes
mind as
and-
well that these are 800 square foot units, they're very small. So if you're doing some sort of level of, kind of that mixed sort of use, it might not be worth your time and money to do an 800 square foot unit for multiple residents. That's a developer consideration, I don't know. But yeah, as far as legally, the group home question, we don't have, that's treated the same as any single family residential use.
Any other questions? Okay, so with regards to Order 2627-7, the Town of Gray hereby ordains that the Town of Gray shall adopt the proposed amendments to the accessory dwelling unit section of the zoning ordinance, Chapter 402.7.9. All in favor? All opposed? Okay, beautiful. Thank you. Okay.
Thanks, Kristen. Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
She's not done. Yeah.
He'll be up here
She's
for a
just
while.
getting started.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. She's got
Now
her- she's got her walking shoes on tonight, for sure. Okay. Okay. So next up is Order 2627-8, zoning ordinance. Okay. Motion be ordered, the Town of Gray hereby ordains that the Town of Gray shall adopt the proposed amendments to the zoning ordinance, Chapter 402. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
All right, beautiful. Why don't you go ahead first? Go right ahead.
Okay,
Before we open
this
it up.
is getting into the easier stuff. So these are housekeeping updates. Some of them are per legal advice that dates back like 5 years, like things that have just been pending that need to be updated. And some of the other items are just for clarity. I'm happy to go through them one by one if you want. These are the same items that were presented. Those of you who were on the council previously may recall them. Everything related to the law changes from the state is stripped out at this point. This is only housekeeping stuff. This is not anything related to the state density law.
Okay, perfect. Okay, at this time, we'll open the floor for public discussion or comment. Again, public comments limited to 3 minutes. Anyone like to come up and speak? Kyle, is there anyone online?
Nope.
Okay, beautiful. The public hearing is closed on this item. We'll now open up the floor for councilor discussion. Councilor Johnson?
Yeah, J, minimum parking.
Yes.
That's my concern, is, so it says for ADUs, that they don't have to have a parking space, is that correct?
Per state law, yeah, there's no parking space, so we're just adding that here to clarify in case you
So
want
it's
to look.
state law already, so we
Correct.
don't have a choice anyways. And
Correct.
what's this thing about Avesta?
So during, recently, Meadowview 2, at the end of Hancock, they added a large unit to the Avesta Meadowview campus. And we had several complaints and concerns from the people who live there that they met all the parking requirements that are on the books now, but the people who live there have felt that it's very insufficient and is not enough parking for the people who live there, given the level of public transportation available in the town of Gray, and that most of them do drive. And there was, I think, kind of an assumption in our current ordinance that some of the folks living in senior citizen housing would not be driving, would not have cars, and they were saying, like, that's not the case, and we need more parking. So this is an attempt to address those concerns by increasing the required parking. So next time we have a senior citizen housing project, whether it's independent or assisted, there will be an increased standard for providing more parking, and we wouldn't run into, hopefully, those same issues, because that project does meet the current ordinance, and the planning board approved it, per ordinance. So the idea was to try to respond to those residents' concerns.
Okay, so what would it be, so it says table, blah, blah, so would it require one per unit, or what would it require?
Yep, the way it's proposed right now,
Okay, there it is.
current senior citizen housing that's independent is only at 0.6 spots per dwelling unit. We would be increasing it to 1.5, or 1 per dwelling unit within the designated growth area, and that's because of the state law regarding what you can do in the growth areas. But it would be 1.5 outside of that, and at least 1 per dwelling unit.
Which makes sense for no
Outside.
public transportation, right? I mean,
Right,
that, you
yep.
know,
And the other one, assisted living, would be instead of 0.4 per dwelling unit, would be 1
Okay.
parking space. That's the
Family
proposal.
members, stuff like that. All right, cool. All right.
Perfect. Council Gas?
Yeah, this all looked fine to me. I just had a quick question about packet page 107. And let's see, 402.9.2.c.14. So that's sort of the middle of the
So,
page.
Yep.
And it just says, if they go to the Board of Appeals and get a positive decision, but that their approval has to expire within 6 months of the date if work is not substantially completed, or started or completed, I guess, within 1 year of the date in which the appeal is granted. And so I just sort of, it is clear, I think you've made it clear here, but I just could, again, I could envision a scenario where, somebody has a family event or something. It doesn't seem like there's any provision in here for extensions the way there are in other areas of the ordinance. And I just wondered, if somebody isn't able to substantially begin the construction within 6 months, maybe their contractor, went out of business or something like that. It just seems like there should be some opportunity for extension in the event of some extenuating circumstances.
Okay, yeah, I mean, otherwise, this is not a substantive change. It's a
Right.
clarification, because the language was
Right.
really confusing. If that's a provision you want to add, we could certainly do that as an amendment.
But that would be, so what would that require in terms of substantive change? I mean, would it have to, there wouldn't have to be hearings or anything like that, would there? Or would there, in front of the planning board?
Could we just
I
literally,
believe we
could we make a change tonight and just read this and then just say as amended?
Right,
Or-
yeah.
Okay, that
Yep.
would be nice.
So what were your thoughts be on that, Council Gas?
I mean, I would advocate for there being, like some provision, I think, and there's similar language elsewhere in the ordinance that, after consultation with the code enforcement officer or something like that, or it could be,
You'd want the code enforcement officer to have the authority to extend the ZBA's decision?
maybe, yeah, or it could go back to the ZBA.
Yeah,
That's probably the right thing to do.
I don't, legally, I'd have to double
Yeah.
check on that, because I think it's the
Yeah.
ZBA that would have to do it.
Yeah, they'd have to approve
And
an
that's state
extension.
statute, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we'd have to check on that, but
Yeah.
yeah, certainly something, we could add a provision in there, like you'd have to go back, or they could extend it, what the authority would be.
Right.
We could address that.
Okay. For my final thought, any questions?
I mean, actually, let me just clarify. So in the event that they were unable to commence construction within that 6-month time period and their approval got, expired, then they could, I guess, have that and come back before the ZBA, but it would be, something of a pain in the neck, I suppose. I mean, there's some potential for, new membership or something like that might look less favorably on their application. So it seems to me to be easier to go back to the ZBA and say, can we just extend this rather than having to go through the whole song?
Right, there's a provision for that for planning board.
Okay,
But
yeah,
I
that's what I
don't,
thought.
ZBA, I would have to check with legal.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't
thank
think
you.
so.
Pam?
I'm done.
Well, is this talking about dwelling units right here? I mean,
No, this
it's
is
not.
talking
Zoning.
about
No.
anything that zoning board of appeals grants you. It's just a clarification in language.
Okay.
It's just really confusing the way it's written right now.
I know, because it's kind of out of context.
Well, that too, yeah.
Okay.
But these are snippets for you to try to keep
Okay, I
it tight, but you
gotcha.
can certainly read the entirety of
Commenced
it
within
per reference,
6
40292C.
Because typically, I just worked in the code office, so typically I know that when they come for building permits, usually when they find out, oh shoot, I can't do what I want to do and I need to go to the ZBA and get a reduction in my side setback or my rear setback. So typically when they come, they're ready to go. They're not going to pay the $500 to go to ZBA to get a decision to not do their project most of the time.
Right, I think to Ann's point, it's more
And-
of like if something comes up after.
I know,
Like big
and
family
the
emergency or
building
something.
permit itself is only good for
Right,
a
a
year
year,
as
yeah.
well. So,
Yeah. Let me know what you want to do.
Good, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think we need to make any changes on it. I like it the way it was. I don't think we need to add any more time limits on it because I think there's enough things in place already. I would just like to get it done. I think the changes are really good. I like the idea of the more parking because I know there's been real problems with it. So I like to see that. I think it's really very productive to do that. Otherwise, I would leave everything else the way it was. I mean, if somebody doesn't finish their property in that time that they need to, I'm sure there's other things that can happen for them. So I would just like to get it pushed through.
Okay. All right, so the reality is, again, we can pass this, and then if down the line somebody wants to make a change, we can always bring it back up. So these things are always, I'm just saying, all of these things are malleable,
Yeah.
so tonight, we can just, we'll go basically through it, and we'll make a motion, and we'll either vote up or down. So basically, at this point, with regards to order number 2627-8, the Town of Gray hereby ordains that the Town of Gray shall adopt the proposed amendments to the zoning ordinance, Chapter 402. All in favor? Okay. 4, and obviously Mike is not present right now. So
Oh, right
perfect.
here.
Oh, you are, I didn't
raised
see
my
you.
hand. No, I raised my
See
hand.
you lying back
I do
there.
have to go, but I just, no.
All right, thank you. Sorry about that, my friend. You're hiding, yeah.
Blocking his view.
Exactly.
Hiding, okay.
And point of order, my computer's not working, so my phone
All
is
right,
my computer today.
you're a good man, thank you. Okay, next up is order 2627-9, growth ordinance. Let's see. Be ordered, move to repeal the growth management ordinance, Chapter 409, effective immediately. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And, all right, beautiful. Please.
Okay, so I know Tammy came before you earlier last month now, in mid-July, to speak to the growth management ordinance. We are moving forward with asking the council if you want to keep it or repeal it. At this point, it was passed to go into effect July 1, to coincide again with this LD 1829, the new state housing law, and the main reason that it was put into place was because there was that option before the law was amended for those 5,000 square foot lots on any property where a developer wanted to build a large septic system. So that was kind of one of the things that the council was looking to manage in the light of that law coming down. That element has been removed from the state law. So that's no longer an issue. You have to be on actual public sewer and public water. You can't make your own. So that element, that was one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, of putting the growth management ordinance in place. So that's why it's being brought up to you tonight to say, now that that's out of the picture, do you want to keep it or do you want to repeal it?
Okay.
And I do, since just some stats for you, as I know you had asked for that.
Yes, please.
Jennifer Land.
Thank you.
Since the implementation of the growth ordinance July 1, we've had 6 building permits for dwelling units, 4 in the Lake District, 2 in rural residential agricultural district, all of them from different parties, different elements. So that's a total of 6 so far, and I believe Codes was telling me we typically average around 70 a year lately.
Okay, yeah, that would make
Kristen,
sense.
can I ask if any of the ones in the Lake District are tear-down rebuilds or those brand-new dwelling units? Because that wouldn't count if it's a tear-down rebuild as a new dwelling unit, correct?
Correct. It would not count if it's a tear-down rebuild, so my understanding is that it is not. But that list was put together by Inga, and I saw it just before she left. So I would have to dig into those actual permits to confirm that
I
for
was
you.
just curious because I've noticed some are under new single-family dwellings and they're really tear-down rebuilds when I go on to MyGov. So I was just curious.
Okay.
Just, there are some.
Okay,
Just saying.
Councilor Gass.
I think it's a good idea to repeal this growth ordinance myself. I think that I'm not a huge fan of growth growth limits. I think that one of the reasons why the state of Maine is 70,000 units short of where we need to be housing our people is that towns have enacted restrictive growth or restrictive ordinances over the year that make it difficult to develop new housing. So I would be in favor of repealing this.
Councilor Semino?
I would like to keep this ordinance in place. I think it's a great ordinance. I like the limitations on this because I don't want to see like large growth of 100 units going in, from an outside developer, and then all of a sudden there's another 100 units. I think it's too many. I think Gray needs to grow at a step by step. I think if we overwhelm the town, we've already got issues with traffic and other things as well. I think this is a great way to keep things at a step by step. So I like this process. The only question I had is that I know there is something on here about the growth permit issued for the dwelling within the wellheads, and I think I asked you, but I don't know if we had the answer for that, if that could actually be 0. Because I really think we need to protect our water source. And I don't like to see any development on the waterhead.
I think we had one in each.
You only have one growth permit in wellhead 1 and 2 combined.
Okay.
I don't know that you can fully exclude it.
That's what I thought, we couldn't fully.
Because that would,
Yeah.
that could
Okay.
get you.
All right,
Sure.
well, that's
Hot
fine, but
water
I think
taking
this is, I look at this and say, this is really good for Gray. I think at this and say, you know what, we don't need huge development all at once, because if we don't keep a handle on it, we're gonna be in a lot of trouble here with our traffic issues, and the school budgets and things like that will increase a lot. So, I mean, we've been averaging about 70 a year, correct? Is that what it's
That's
been?
what I've been told.
That's why we,
Yeah.
yes, if I may.
Laura, is that
I
true?
was on this committee, so yeah, what we did is we took 100, I think we did 105 or 110% of the 10-year average,
Okay.
or something like to
Yep.
that effect, and that's how we came up with that number. So a couple things on this. My personal feeling is I'd like to keep it in place, and I would not like to repeal it, but there are some changes that I would like to look at doing. And so basically there's a couple of things. So the first one is, I would like to, we had talked about a lot of 13 lot developments, because I guess over 13 you have to go through the EPA, is that?
The DEP
Oh, the
can
DEP,
get
okay.
involved when you go beyond that.
So my thought was, I think we had originally set up that the max number of permits a builder could get in a year would be 5. And I would like to change that, maybe to look, we didn't have to do that, but look at it to do 7. That way, if they had a development, they could actually do it in 2 years. Within that 2-year period, they could get 7 and 6, and that would be their 13. So it wouldn't prevent somebody from coming in if they wanted to do a development. But it would protect us from, the Dry Mills one. If they put their public, that would have been a massive development.
That's
It
what I
would
mean.
protect us from that.
Well, we would have had to say about that.
But you know what I'm saying, but eventually, so the other thing I would say is there are some people who have made an investment based off of policy that was in place. And I do think, in fairness, that anything that's in play now, we should probably grandfather those few that are in play and allow them to go through with what they've got. But then after we put this in place, and again, maybe go from 5 to 7, that would allow people with a 13-unit development to be able to get that done in 2 years. And the other thing,
Well, can I just say, are you going to finish?
if you can.
Well, I want to talk about.
Okay,
Go
so
ahead.
the last thing I'm going to say is, and I'll use Ms. Semino because she is on the cost-sharing program. We are working right now with Great New Gloucester on a cost-sharing program. If we decided per se to go by pupil and we start putting all these homes in, then our cost is just going to go right up. And so the reality is you may get X amount from a new home, but the cost per pupil is very expensive. And so I think there are a few things that I think that would control the growth. I certainly don't want us to be Wyndham, which is out of hand. So again, that's the only thing I'd like to do is give the people that have had or put in the effort to have facilities or building, I'd like to see if we could grandfather those, would be my thought, on the few we have, and then change the number from 5 to 7, so somebody's got a 13-unit subdivision, which seems to be a goal of a lot, that they could do that in 2 years. Go ahead, that's all.
When Woodcock went in, how many houses could they do in a year, Kristen? About? I mean, it's Stillwater, I
So
should
yeah, I
say.
did grab some stats for you guys. So Stillwater Pines Phase 2, which is the subdivision part of Woodcock, has 22 dwelling units. They did 8. This is my best estimate, because I'm just getting to learn my gov now that our admins are gone, so bear with me.
If you need help, let me know.
Thank you. FY25, they did 8, and FY26, they did 6, is what I have for numbers. Which again, believe are correct, but I may be missing some. But yeah, 8 and 6 at that time, and others were done potentially earlier. Mayall Mills, which is one of our new ones, is a 13 lot. They pulled 5 building permits in FY '25 and 2 in '26. So that one was going a little bit slower from what I could tell. Arlington Court, Phase 2 is Long Hill Estates. Was 9, Phase 2 was 9 dwelling units. 5 of them were done in FY '24, and the rest were earlier than that. The new Coppice Grove condos off of Mayall is 7 dwelling units total, but they're in multi-unit buildings. Those were all pulled in FY '26. So that developer would not have been able to do that with this in place. So one of the points of clarification I would have to your amendment would be, there are some that are not technically legally pending yet before the planning board, because in order to be a legally pending application, you have to be at prelim. Some of them have come only for sketch plan review, which does not make you legally pending, but they have presented it. They have started to invest money in engineering and having people present to the board. So would you want to include them? There are 2 right now. One of them is the Durgan Woods proposal for the 51. It'll be phased, but ultimately 51 lots. The other one is off of Shaker Road, which would be 14 or 16, because there are about 8 lots that would be duplexes.
Well, I think right now, if we voted this down, we would have to revisit it anyways to do some of the other changes if we wanted to move it to 7 or any, and then we'd have time to discuss that.
Okay.
Fair enough. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure what you were talking about. How many were you saying to move to from 5 to?
So right now, the maximum number of permits you can, now remember, this doesn't affect ADUs, this doesn't affect the growth area, it's just the other areas. And so you can, right now, a builder could pull 5 permits a year. We would change, and the reason I said 7 is 13 seems to be kind of the magic number that quite a few people go after. So that would allow them to do like 7 one year, 6 the other year. And from what you're saying, that sounds like that would work out pretty well statistically. So that's why I said that, and that's why I used that number. But again, we can come back and rehash that. I think tonight we can just say, let's keep this in place, and then we can talk about the changes.
Because if we don't, because what happens to those other companies that want to put a 51 unit in?
That's going to be a phased project, so it's not going to come to the board as 51 units. It's going to come as a 13, and then a 2, and then, it's going to
But instead of just getting wham, it's controlling the growth.
Right.
As best we can.
Yeah.
So we are allowing growth and we are expanding, but we're not overwhelming. And I mean, you come down Dry Mills in the morning, you know what that road's like to the highway. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Can we do impact fees?
Last I remember hearing, we did not have the ability to do that due to some state provision, but I would have to look into that with legal. I don't recall. I don't think we were eligible for it for some reason.
Okay, because I know in Wyndham they were making like, these
Yeah,
builders
that's come
put in
up
like
before.
all kinds of stuff. They were making them put in.
We do something that's some type of a rec.
Right.
We do
Some
have
type of fee that we do charge every household.
We do have a dwelling unit fee. That's in your fee schedule.
Okay.
That's in there. But as far as like increasing that or doing other ones, depending on how it's called, I'd have to look into that.
So I think at least now it sounds like most of us are on the same page. So why don't we just move forward
I
with
would like to keep it, yeah.
tonight? And yeah, so we're going to basically it's order 26.
Hang on, I just
Go
want to
ahead,
address
please.
your comment earlier that, that Gray would end up getting swamped with families moving to town, with families with school-aged children moving to town. And I think that's been a bugaboo, and, I know for a fact that's been trotted out for decades as a reason for towns to enact restrictive zoning ordinances that prevent the construction of housing, especially more affordable housing. And I think that the reality is that the school census has been shrinking, that that people aren't having children, or they're having children, fewer children or much later. And this, I just really, I couldn't let that go by without clarifying and making sure that we're dealing with facts here and not with scare tactics.
Well, I just want to say that I'm not going to be in favor of this tonight, because 5 growth permits, I'm actually, I feel bad for the guy on Durgan Woods. I do. I know how much money they spend up front getting engineers and all of the work that they do, and he's already paid out money for this piece of property, and how disappointing it is to find out that you can get 5 permits will not begin to cover the infrastructure to build a road. I mean, and all underground power and all the things that come with that. I mean, I know you know that. I think it's unfortunate, and 5 growth permits, we'll never have anybody coming here to want to do any kind of development. So we'll have all these little tiny 3-house developments with no decent roads, instead of having something that's looks nice. So I would prefer to see this go up to at least 10 permits. I mean, I think we need housing. And this, you know, I mean, others are nervous about affordable housing. I mean, this brings housing. And to Ann's point, I do agree. People are having less children. I mean, we keep having these developments come, and the school is still having a declining in student population.
Yeah, I think one of the points I wanted to raise to you folks is that, as a reminder, that GP-COG is working on a housing study for the town of Gray, and they do plan on presenting that to you, I believe, in October.
Oh, nice.
So that might be a good time to revisit it after you have time to review what's actually, you know, get some real stats on housing in Gray and be able to review that together and discuss. That might be a good time to revisit it. We could certainly do it earlier, but that is coming to you soon.
One more thing. When you say that like Woodcock did like 10 one year or 8 one year, is that just, are you going by the year that the permit was issued, or when they were completed, or when they were started?
Issued, the date on the building permit itself, not the occupancy, but the date on the building permit.
Okay.
Because that's when the growth permit would be issued, is at that time. So I was looking at that time and how that lines up with the fiscal years.
It sounded from what you said, if we eventually, if we change that to 7, it would have almost covered everything on the permits.
From what I looked up, yeah, there was, Arlington Court did, no, they did 5, yeah. The biggest one was 8 at one time. Again, this isn't very, you know,
And
it's
is
not
that
a
in a
comprehensive data set.
is that, so 8, that's in a calendar year?
Fiscal year.
Fiscal year, okay,
Yeah,
yes.
this
okay.
is by fiscal year. Yeah, the ordinance is by fiscal year
Okay.
for your
And
limits.
you wouldn't know what months they do them all at once, or do they, I mean, I'm just, you probably
A lot of them were kind of in chunks, yes. And then, and then some were kind of.
So my point being, you could say they pulled 8 in a year, but they could have pulled one the month before the new fiscal year started.
Well, yeah, yep.
Exactly.
So, okay.
Yep,
Yeah,
it's just
okay.
within that window.
But I'm not opposed to raising it, I guess,
Yeah.
as I'm saying, so.
Yeah, because I know that I think I did 11 permits for Woodcock
Right.
on one day.
Right, yeah, I didn't look back that far, but
Okay.
yes, again, it's not
They had
comprehensive
it.
data, it's a quick look.
All right, I think we're
Okay.
ready to go. Okay, so with regards to Order 2627-9, move to repeal the Growth Management Ordinance, Chapter 409, effective immediately. Who is in favor of repealing it?
So wait,
No, I'm in favor. You keep.
Right, because if I want to keep this, I'm not
Then
in favor.
you're no. If you want to repeal it, your hands up. Okay, we got 2, and who wants to keep it in place? Okay. So for now, it remains.
Okay, so keeping it 2
Yeah,
to 3.
for now. But again, I think everybody made some good points about things that we should be looking at and increasing, and we'll definitely take a hard look at that, because I do think there's some things we should
Okay.
do. So great, thank you.
And are you, just time-wise for clarity from a staffing perspective, is that something you do want to wait on that housing study to look at first, or do you want to move forward right away with upping it to 7 and the other changes?
You know,
You want that before you,
I
like,
would-
next month?
I would-
or-
We didn't up it to 7,
no,
right?
but I'm saying I would not, I mean, I
A
guess we
proposal
can
to
have a
do
chat
that.
about, I would not be opposed to upping it to 7 sooner, and then when the study comes out, we can look at it again. I mean, what are your thoughts?
I wouldn't be opposed to upping it to 10.
I know. So, Councilor Gass, would you rather wait till October, or would you rather look at upping it?
I mean, I think you should up it. I'm
Okay.
still going to vote against it.
Okay.
I mean, I just think we don't need it.
Okay.
So sooner? Okay.
Okay. All right, one more, and thank you for your patience in waiting. The next one is Order 2627-10, Data Center. And let's see, be ordered, move to approve the ordinance establishing a temporary moratorium on data centers effective retroactively to July 14th, 2026, to be in full force and effect for 180 days thereafter. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, and Mike, go ahead, please.
Okay. Are we
So-
No, no.
offline? Are we offline?
No, we're online.
It says on air.
Okay, I'm getting a text from Ken Farrington. that-
I'm fixing it right now.
Okay.
Okay.
So we are on.
Okay, go right ahead, please.
So the data center question, these are these large facilities that house the equipment to do, artificial intelligence and crypto and those sort of things, where the actual rubber hits the road to do all the things we're used to doing on the computer now. So these have been controversial. The state decided not to put a statewide moratorium on it. This spring, Governor Mills rejected that. So the Greater Portland Council of Governments has provided draft language for individual towns to put in a moratorium, should you so choose, to give the towns time to prepare language, because like most towns, the town of Gray does not have language that's specific to that sort of use. So it would give us time before we have anybody knocking at the door to put one of those into Gray, to work up language on how we would handle it, how we would define it, what the standards would be. So that's the question that's before you tonight. Do you want to effectively put a hold on anyone's potential ability to do that in the meantime and give us time to work out language? Or are you good with leaving it open to have them go under, I guess, maybe similar use to like warehousing or something like that, if we were to have an application?
All right, perfect. Thank you. All right, so now, public comment, I'm going to open the floor to public comments and discussion. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes and must stay on topic. Is there anyone who wishes to comment? Would you like to come up? You just have to step up there, that's all. Thank you. And all you need to do is just state your name and your address, and then the floor is yours.
Joseph Pajensky, 27 Rustic Road.
Thank you.
And I do have a question just to clarify, to make sure I understand this correctly. This would be a motion, if it was passed, would be to prevent these data centers from being built at least for a time before more is figured out about it. Okay.
Correct.
Thank you. I will admit that I don't have any direct sources for what I have to say at this time, and for that I apologize. But even a quick Google search can reveal the amount of damage these types of data centers can do to towns like Gray and our larger area. The most prominent example, of course, is the severe damage it does to the environment through the sheer amount of water used, which is often polluted by things such as chlorine dioxide, phosphates, and even heavy metals such as lead, which can all be present within the cooling pipes that then contaminate the water, which is then released back into our waterways. On a larger scale, these centers pose a large threat to the biosphere of this planet and by extension this town. Beyond that, I believe such a center would also negatively affect the community. They allegedly are very loud and create a lot of noise pollution, which could not only disrupt the lives of those who live nearby, but also possibly lower the property value of any home near it. I believe it is imperative to take a strong stance against these centers, and would strongly urge the council to pass the motion for this motion for the sake of our community.
Great. Thank you very much for coming up.
Well done.
Well done. Would anybody else like to speak? Kyle, is there anyone online?
Yes, we do have Lisa. I am unmuting her right now. And Lisa, you should be able to unmute your microphone and speak.
Yes, I just want to agree with what the gentleman just said. It's not something we need in Gray. Environmentally, it looks like a disaster. Probably don't need it anywhere in Maine. That's all.
Okay, great. Thank you. Anybody else like to speak? Is there anyone else online, Kyle?
There is no one else.
All right, great. So at this time, the public hearing is closed on this item. We'll now open the floor for councilor discussion, starting with Councilor Guess.
No argument from me on this one. This is something I'd be happy to vote in favor of. Yeah, go for it.
Councilor Johnson?
The only thing I want to say is that we need business here. And I understand, we don't know enough about these, how they'll affect the environment. So, I definitely agree for now, let's not do them. But I do think we need to consider, how we can get more business in here. And I hate to just say no to them or something like this without doing some more research and finding it does it really affect the environment? It probably does. You know, I mean, look at how in like Skowhegan, that area where you can't even shoot a deer anymore because of the PF, whatever that stuff is. So although I will vote for it tonight, I do want to see if there really is the impact that we're hearing. You know, maybe in the future we could do it, but for now I would definitely say no.
Councilor Edson?
No, I agree that I would be a no. I don't know how much, you know, when you talk about bringing a business here, I don't even know how much, like, as far as hiring, you know, that they even have people, hardly any employees inside or anything like that. So I'm a no.
Okay.
I'm a definite no. I don't want to have the data center here. I'd like the moratorium. I mean, Dale Road, who knows, but for now, I'd definitely like to see it.
You know, I think it's like like a lot of things. I mean, there was a time where cars didn't have seatbelts, and I think things evolved. But right now, I think there's too much. There's a lot of variables, and I think we should always have an open mind to things in the future. But right now, it does seem that we're all on the same page. So, without further delay, order 2627-10. Motion moved to approve the ordinance establishing a temporary moratorium on data centers effective retroactively to July 14th, 2026, to be in full force and effect for 180 days thereafter. All in favor? All opposed? Thank you. And thank you for your patience tonight and for coming. You're welcome to come anytime. Okay. Okay, so next up is Order 2627-11, Surface Water Protection Ordinance. Be ordered that the Gray Town Council hereby adopts the Surface Water Protection Ordinance. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Mike? Okay.
I'll second.
Second? All right, beautiful. Okay, at this time, I'll open the floor for public discussion or comment.
Do we want to go even
But
through that? Because
I
we're
need to
gonna
do that.
table it.
I know what we're going to do. We're
Yeah.
gonna,
Yeah.
we're on the same page.
Yeah.
At this time, open the floor for public discussion or comment. Comments limited to 3 minutes. Is there anyone who would like to speak? Kyle, is there anyone online?
No.
Okay, at this time, the public hearing is closed on this item. And as Councilor Gass was going to say, it had gotten put on the agenda, so we had to go through it. But we are going to table it to what would be the date you would like?
I think we said September 1st.
Okay, okay. So I guess at this time, I'm going to make a motion to, to table order number 2627-11 to September 1st. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, beautiful.
I'll second.
And all in favor? All opposed? All right, beautiful. So we would table that to September 1st?
Yeah.
Okay, we're good? All right, beautiful. Thank you. Okay. Okay, next up is Order 2627-12, which is a subdivision ordinance. Okay, be ordered, the town of Gray hereby ordains that the town of Gray shall adopt the proposed amendments to the subdivision ordinance chapter 401. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
I'll
Second. Thank you, Ann. Okay, all in favor? Okay, beautiful. Please.
Thank you. These are the housekeeping edits to the subdivision ordinance. Similar to the zoning ordinance changes that were before you, these are legal and clarity updates that had been brought to the council previously, but were a part of a package that included the LD 1829 changes. Those, again, are stripped out here. These are housekeeping only for our legal updates that have been suggested for a while, or clarity for town staff to implement these. If you'd like to go through any of them, we can certainly do that.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Was this subdivision code, was this the one that had the stuff about fire suppression systems in it? Did I see something?
Yes.
Yes.
There is a part.
So much stuff in here. and I
Yep,
can't
there is a
remember.
part about NFPA compliance, the cistern and hydrant language. for subdivisions.
Yeah.
The fire chief had asked for some changes to that to coordinate it with the National Fire Protection Association standards that they use. There had been some discrepancy between, so this is aligning them with what the fire department uses for standards.
Because I know that at one point in time, they had the suppression systems, and then I took them away, and now we're putting them back. Is that what we're doing here?
So when you do a subdivision in the town of Gray, you have 3 options for fire protection.
Yep.
If you're on public water, you can do a hydrant. If you're not, you can install cisterns or do sprinklers in each dwelling unit.
Okay,
Those are your 3
has
choices.
that been the case for the last?
That's
5?
been the case during my time with the town of Gray. I know it has changed on and off over the years.
Because I thought it came off. I thought I just talked with somebody recently, and they were not having those. Is that right?
Something like that, yeah, because they actually cause more issues than.
Yeah, because I don't know why we're adding these back in, because.
What are you talking about, sprinklers?
Yeah.
Yes.
We're not changing fire protection. What we're changing is the standard specific. So if you look at Amendment 1 to 2 in the actual language, we're adding language about aligning it with Maine Department of Public Safety and the most current NFPA standards, the size connecting to the vaults, just some of the specifics that the fire department puts in, some standards for cisterns that were not previously in there, that the fire chief was looking to have clarity on, who does inspection, testing, approval. It's not changing. You still have 3 options: cistern, hydrant, sprinkler. You got to do fire protection. That's not changing.
You have to do them, so why did we had done away with them at one point, so why?
Well, before my time, yeah, I think there was a point where the town did not require sprinklers at least. But that's before my time. What we did here, what we're presenting to you tonight, is with relation to bringing it into compliance with the way that the fire department works and the standards that they use, and adding some clarity for them and how to apply cistern standards in particular. The distance from a hydrant to the edge of a building was not aligning with NFPA standards. It was different in here, so there was a discrepancy. So every time we'd have to deal with the planning board granting a waiver for it and saying, well, it meets NFPA, but it doesn't meet the ordinance. So it's housekeeping. It's getting it in line with what the standards should be.
Because the idea is to try to lower costs for housing, and here we have this big enormous cost that is kind of silly. I mean, I have one of those retention tanks on my property.
you have
and it's just
cisterns,
like,
yeah.
really? And then we have to maintain it, we have to have it tested, and all this other stuff, which costs a lot of money. And it's kind of like, I just think it's something that it'd be nice if we could take it away, and let a homeowner choose or something, because I just think they're unnecessary. I think it's unnecessary.
Fire protection?
Well, to the limit that it's at, yeah, I mean.
I think that's a bigger conversation probably.
Yeah.
This stuff is housekeeping and bringing it in line with NFPA and adding some standards for cisterns. If you want to have a wholesale conversation about getting rid of fire protection standards at all, or getting rid of sprinkler requirements or things like that.
Sprinkler requirements
That's a
is really
bigger
big
conversation. I'll need to wrap in codes for sure on
It's the
that.
sprinkler part, it's really nice.
Point of order,
Okay.
so I actually totally agree, and Judy's gonna write this down, I agree with you. So is there a way to eliminate just that piece of it, and just say you have to put in a cistern?
Like just eliminate sprinklers as an option?
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably. I would want to check with codes and the state law. I don't want to misspeak here. But
Just because everyone I know that's put them in, they are very expensive, and insurance sometimes won't cover you now because of them. So, because if there's a little smoke in there, it sets them all off and it ruins everything in the house. So, I would like to look at removing that.
yeah, I mean, you would be removing a choice for a developer. You would be forcing them, and there isn't public water in most of this town. So you'd be forcing them to do cistern.
Yeah, but they're gonna force that cost onto a homeowner is all they're gonna do.
Right,
So,
yep.
yeah, so,
But there are
yeah.
different reasons why they choose sprinklers sometime, like the lay of the land, maybe they don't have a place to put a cistern easement. It gives them some options to be able to do sprinkler, and that's their choice. But yeah, we can have that wider conversation. I would have to loop in codes, because that's not my area of expertise. So again, I don't want to misspeak to it. I know right now, though, those are your 3 options effectively.
The only other thing I had to, the only other thing I had too was about the winter roads or something. There was something about, what changed about the winter roads? Something about private roads. I wish I had marked it off on here. Did you change something about the private roads and the winter maintenance on private roads?
Nope, that would be in the street ordinance. We did change a reference, I believe, to go to the street ordinance.
I'm sorry, I should have marked it better. There was just so much paperwork here.
Mhm.
You know, 200 pages for our meeting is a little much.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'll have to, that's okay, go ahead next.
All right, Kristen, my question's on page 2, under fire protection C. Well, it's 127 of our packet, everybody. But where it says on B, underground reservoirs or systems and/or sprinkler systems, doesn't that make you think that you might have to have cisterns and sprinklers? Could we get rid of the word "and"?
Yeah, let me make sure I'm clear on where you're talking about. So
Okay,
under
so-
it proposed amendments,
All right.
numbers 1 and 2,
Yeah, and then it's B. Under C,
little b, subdivision plan shall indicate.
No, I'm on page 2. Are you on page 2 of the?
Page 127 of the
127.
packet.
Yeah, 127 of the packet, but page 2. Okay,
And
so
you're under fire protection?
under C,
Fire
C for
protection, yeah,
fire
yeah.
protection.
Yep, and then it's B,
Okay, I see.
Yep.
4B,
Well, there's no 4 there.
No, it's C.
1B.
1B, yeah.
1B. Oh, okay, yep, C1B. Underground reservoirs, also known as cisterns and/or sprinkler. So yeah, that's what I was just talking about as
Can't we get rid
your
of-
list.
But
That's your list of options.
this makes me think that you could have to have cisterns and sprinkler systems, both in the same development.
That's a choice. So again, the developer shall provide adequate fire protection by one or more of the following methods. So you might have an area of your subdivision that's served by cistern.
Oh.
You might have an area of your subdivision that can't support a cistern or whatever, or you don't want to invest in it in that part, and you want to put in sprinklers.
What is a cistern?
Or you can connect, one of the other main things is like if you have part of your subdivision on the main drag and you can connect to public water via hydrant, but you don't want to run water all the way down and you want to do the ones in the back on a cistern or a spring, it gives you the option as a developer.
Okay, the big divots, the big
Pipes.
holes in the middle of Woodcock and Stillwater, you know, down there, you know what I mean?
The ditches on the side?
No, I'm talking about in front of, at the end of Stillwater, in front of the last house on the left. There's those big,
Stormwater pond?
yes, yes. What is the point of those besides
That's
hideous?
unrelated, that's for stormwater.
Okay.
It's unrelated to fire protection.
Okay.
We used to have fire ponds, where you'd have that sort of setup. I think Maine Meadows has a fire pond out in the front, where they would draw from it with a pump, but that hasn't been consistently dependable, so it's been struck a long time before I got here.
So those are fire ponds and they're supposed to get water out of them?
No, not anymore. Any newer subdivision you're seeing, like off of Woodcock,
Yeah?
those are stormwater ponds. That's a place for detention, for water detention, to keep it out of your yard, keep it off the road. That's where it's supposed to go.
Okay.
All your runoff, your rainwater.
They're so hideous. So hideous. Okay.
All right, any other questions?
Yeah, I think Judy does. On page 139, the second to last, it says, certification of street construction for public acceptance or winter maintenance. What are you trying to get to when you added the winter maintenance? What does that mean?
I'm not entirely sure where you're at, but when
So,
you,
Page 139 and then
At the
20,
bottom.
was that 14? All the way at the bottom, not the little paragraph, but the one right above it.
okay, so I don't
Certification.
have page numbers matching your packet. I have the page numbers from what I
I'll just round
provided
up
to
to
you.
her. Okay.
So they're listed by amendment number.
I think you pull
Let me
yours,
just
Sorry.
show it to you.
because you pull yours off, they're pulling it off the big, and I always
Understood.
I always do the smaller one,
Understood.
'cause
I
it's
should
only
write down
36
both.
pages.
Doug told me to, and I didn't
I just do
it.
the item. You guys look at the whole thing.
Public access.
the whole meeting.
Upon completion.
Yeah,
Certification.
that's what we have done
I know,
historically,
It's just,
but.
it's,
Yeah, I
if you
think
just look at the
so.
item, it's only 36 pages.
So winter
I'll show you how to do it
maintenance
later.
is,
Oh, I know what you mean.
when a private road comes to you and asks for the town to take on the road to add it to your plowing contract, to do the plowing and sanding. So they have to meet certain standards in order for you to even consider them for that. They have to, if they're post 1998, they have to be paved and be a certain width and a certain amount of gravel underneath and so on. They have to meet certain specs. If they're pre, they still have to meet gravel specs and width and so on. So that's that reference.
So is there really a difference between what the road should be like in winter maintenance? I guess, that's where I'm confused. Shouldn't it always be built anyways that way, because we're in Maine?
No, there's a lot of private roads that are not built to much of a standard.
Well, I mean,
At all.
but aren't we talking about future?
No.
We're talking about roads in a subdivision,
Yep.
and the reference would be to being built to winter maintenance standards, which are outlined in the street ordinance.
Yeah, so we're talking about moving forward, that's, yeah, so I guess anything that moves forward just needs to build to standard, right? I
Well,
mean,
they
I
have-
guess you could leave winter maintenance in there, but I don't see why it would be any different.
Yeah, no, because Arlington Court had to have their road built to standards, and that's
Yep.
not going forward, that's behind. Anybody that wants to have the town, prior to what she just said, 1998,
98's the
I
splitting
mean,
point.
they've had to have their road be a road that's decent enough to put plows down through. I mean, they're not gonna just,
Oh,
I
so
mean,
does
so
this
if you
cover
want
that?
Huh?
Does this cover that, I guess is my
Yeah,
question.
yeah, and she's just saying it's just cleanup, it's just, they're putting it in because it's what, they already require it.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah, we require it. That's why I couldn't understand why we put it in, but that's new. All right.
Yep.
Sorry, move on.
No, good, no, listen, all great questions. Questions for anybody else? Okay, so order 2627-12, the Town of Gray hereby ordains that the Town of Gray shall adopt the proposed amendments to the Subdivision Ordinance, Chapter 401. All in favor? All opposed? Okay, beautiful.
Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Hope
Kristen.
you had your walking shoes on tonight, standing up there. Thank you so very much.
Oh, trust me,
She's tough.
she's a performer.
Okay, so next up are referrals and other business, which is opportunities for counselors to introduce items for future consideration or discuss topics of interest. So we don't need any motions on these at all. And the first one I'm going to bring up here that was filled out is by Councilor Simoneau, and it's basically with regards to discussing the recap of council meetings.
Yeah. So we don't vote on this, is that correct? We're not voting?
We don't vote, we can have a straw poll, but we don't vote. And if two people wanted it on the future agenda, it would go on the agenda for
Okay,
voting.
all right. Okay, because,
If there has to be an agenda item to change this?
If you want
It's
to.
a
If you want to
council.
vote on it and have it official, so we could do you could do a straw poll to say, is there interest in, in moving it forward?
So
But-
this was a council thing that they decided to do with recaps?
No, it wasn't a council. Oh, you mean the previous council?
Yeah, I'm like, how did we get to this? I mean, was it a council, town manager, is this a?
No, the council wasn't involved
I
previously.
can't answer that question.
Okay.
I wasn't involved.
That's
Ms.
why I'm
Simoneau,
wondering.
can you start us off?
yeah, I just brought this up because I saw the recap on here, and I think the recap is biased. So I mean, is it always biased? No, but I just think it is an opportunity to be biased. So I just kind of wanted to like clean things up with the town, is like not having some biased stuff out there. We already have the minutes to the meeting, we're online, we have, the town puts out a newsletter. So I mean, how much more do we actually need at this meeting? So I just want to avoid any type of negativity that could come out from that. That's why I wanted to do away with the recap. I think the communications stuff, there's so much more that we could be doing instead of that. We've got issues with our online stuff. I mean, you go to find any minutes to meetings, you go to find stuff, and everything is all over the place. I would rather communications concentrate on that and cleaning that up than doing this recap thing. So that was my thoughts on it.
Point of information? So Judy, you're saying that the staff are biased?
The
in
what?
The town staff are biased in putting together this recap?
Well, don't put words into my mouth again. I'm just saying that
Well,
the
who's writing the
report can
recap?
be, the report can be biased. I'm sure AI does a lot of that.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm sure it does. So I'm sure AI has a lot of input onto that, and then the little adjustments are made. So I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just saying I'd rather see it gone so we don't have any bias. You know, there's enough out there already. There's a newsletter, there's online access. I mean, you know, there's enough stuff. There's minutes to the meeting. It goes over everything. I mean, how much more do we need, honestly?
Well, I just would like, I don't see that any other town is doing this. And, you know, I worry more about context. You know, when you give a little bleep, you're missing out on important information that might have been prior or something that came after. And I just feel like the same thing. You know, I just recently was doing a search for something for zoning board minutes, and I cannot find them. And they did used to be there in a format that I could find them. And I feel like that people are smart enough to be able to navigate the video. I mean, you could click on where you want to be. If you're interested in one particular thing, you can go right to that spot. And you get to see the whole thing in exactly how it went. And I think it's important that people see everything in context, not just a snip.
I just want to comment here. I didn't have an opinion until right now, I'll be honest with you, because I didn't really care one way or another. But 2 comments I'll make is that I think that we've got so much on our plate right now, this must take up time. So I don't see the need for it. But the second thing is that I'm a victim of kind of, not this in particular, but where someone only gets a piece of the information, they don't get to see it all. You and I talked about that, right? And, come to a meeting late, you don't get to see the whole thing. So I right now, I think it's a waste of time. And I did hear the people, because there were a lot of people that are for it. So I did get their emails. I heard what they said. I think we maybe do something different, but for now, with everything that's on everybody's plate, let's just kind of take it away for now. And if there's a huge need for it, we'll figure something out. But I actually agree. I mean, if you don't get the whole picture, and I'm not saying anybody isn't giving the whole picture, but
You
really
can't give the whole picture
no.
in a recap.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, please go in.
I mean, I would just say that my understanding is that 3 town staff have been involved in creating this recap, so there's a check and balance there. It doesn't take very much, with AI, the use of AI, it doesn't take very much time to put it together, and it allows, several different people to look at it. I do think that it's, that yes, you can go online and watch the 3-hour video or whatever if you want to, but this gives people an opportunity to understand a little bit more what was discussed at the meeting, and then decide if they want to go and look at the video itself, or just get a quick synopsis of what happened at the meeting. I see no problem with it. I think it's a great service, and people seem to appreciate it.
But 3 town staff, so she's saying 3 town staff look at this, and right now we're down, somebody said 20%. I mean, well, we've had a lot of staff go, so I'm just saying, it just seems like not top-notch importance right now.
I think the information should get out there somehow, but I don't think right now we need to do it. And you're right. I mean, people do need to know what's going on in this town quick. But what I'm concerned with on the other end is nobody ever goes and looks. They only take what they see immediately, and that's just how things are, and they run with it. I wish they didn't, but that's the way it goes on both sides. It's sad that that's what people do today. But
I would just say it provides an alternative to Facebook, where a lot of misinformation is shared. So I really do think it's important.
I agree.
So I think obviously you've been here quite a while tonight, but I think if you look at each topic individually, each topic is not that long. And if I pull this up, there's probably certain topics of interest to me and certain that aren't. And I think the compromise that I'd like to put forward is that if we could have Kyle or whomever go in, which they kind of do now, and they lay out the meeting, and all it says is, whatever topic it is, and they just timestamp it so they can click, and it goes right to the video on that point. So,
It always did.
so basically, if we can do that, basically what we're doing is we're providing the public with the information, and if there's something specific they want, they can go right to it. And most of these segments are only 5 minutes. They're pretty short.
what they do.
And I think that would be more fair.
For us too, there's times that I want to go back and see stuff that was said, or I said, or I did. I think that would be phenomenal. If we could, Kyle, is that something that you could do?
I think he does it.
I can do it. I have some thoughts about this if you would like to hear it, but if not, I will take direction.
Well,
Are we going to allow public?
Well, I don't.
No.
So in the referral areas, is actually a comment I'm going to make later if we ever want to do it. But right now we do not allow. I don't believe we've allowed this because it's not a public. It's not
Next time if we actually
Next
do it,
time
we
is
do.
if we actually do it, it's on the agenda, then they would come up. So this is more just for us to talk about things. And again, even if we vote on it, nothing is
we
But I
vote.
think that would be I think that would be at least, I think it would address some of the things
It's always
that.
been done before.
Yeah.
I don't know why
think
it's
that-
not now.
What?
It used to
Timestamp.
be
Yeah.
that you could timestamp the video and
So
go
I think we
right
can do,
to-
no, I think Kyle's saying we can do that. So if we do that, I think that is a happy medium, at least for now.
Yeah.
Especially where we're.
And what I would like to see is like, just the front page that says where all the,
The agenda.
the
can click on the
and then how you get to it.
Yep,
Each item, that would be phenomenal.
that's it.
It was like that when he started. I mean, they did have that.
Well, it's just,
And then we'll get
We do
feedback
that
after, we
now.
do that for 6 months
Yeah.
and get feedback. I mean,
Absolutely.
Okay.
that's the whole
Sounds
thing, is
good.
we need to know what everybody thinks.
I would just like to
Yes.
clarify so I know exactly what you're wanting.
So basically what
you
we're
want the items on the agenda with a link to the timestamp.
no, you'd click on it and it would bring
That's
you
what I'm
right
saying,
there,
you
just a
click it.
link to it, and if that way if somebody wants to look at,
Yep.
you know.
That'd be awesome.
Somebody says, I wanna-
Save you
That
so
would
much
help us.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody says, I want to look at the acting town clerk appointment, they click on it, it goes right to that, they see the reading, and they see a 5-minute, and they're done.
And is this something that you want us to push out like we did when Kyle prepares the recap, it gets pushed out via email to people
They can
who
push it, yeah,
subscribe.
sure.
So
I
is
mean,
that-
that's fine.
Do you want us to continue to push it
Because I
out?
think that gives-
I want to know what she's saying.
It just, they send it
So
out.
when we have a news announcement, there's an option for people to subscribe to get notifications via email. So when is that something that you want to keep? The
A
recap currently-
notification
All
to
it's-
go look at the agenda?
All it's saying is, say you sign up for Sports Illustrated, it comes out, it gets sent to you, and
Vinny,
you open it up.
I know what that is.
I know, but I'm just saying it's,
I'm asking her, is the agenda, she's saying she's gonna send the agenda out with the links?
What I'm asking is for clarification, whether you want the same process to be followed with this, or do you just want to have the agenda just on the website with the timestamp links? And that's
I think people that are on that should get that sent to them, and they just click this timestamp link instead of having to go get it.
Oh, okay, that's what I was.
So it's just saying you could go to the website
Yes,
and get
that
it.
can be done
Yeah.
without
Yeah.
a lot more work than doing the recap, guys.
No, it's just, you just
No,
push it out.
They just push it out.
Okay.
It's like a mass email.
Yeah.
And let's look at this again in December, see what people are thinking, is it what they want, it's not
See
what
if
they
it
need, you
works.
see if it works. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the whole thing, we don't
That's
get
right.
enough feedback, we're taking too many opinions from Facebook, like Ann said, and I
I'm
think
just
we.
saying that in the past, this is how it was always done. The agenda had a link, and you could click on it, it would take you right to the
Okay.
timestamp.
Okay,
So
I
that's
will
what-
discuss
okay.
with Kyle.
All right,
Yeah,
good.
we'll try it, and then we'll,
Point of order,
Yeah.
didn't we
I don't
tell
think we
people
need
earlier
3
that
staff
they
at all.
couldn't talk about this at public comments on agenda items? Because we
Yes,
were
and you know
allowed
what,
them to talk-
all right, so
We did
you
tell
are,
them to leave.
Ann, all right, so Ann, you were correct about what she's saying, that I did say that. So I think
Yeah,
moving
good luck.
moving forward, I'd say we're gonna have a talk about if we want to do that. So I would say you're correct, so if somebody wants to get up and speak, you can come up and speak, yes.
Yeah.
I did say
Decide what we're
that.
gonna do now, so.
No,
I'm also, is this a decision that you're making now, or is this
Yeah.
to put on the agenda for next time?
It's a-
I'm just confused.
We decide.
so typically, that's a great question. Typically, it would be something that we put on the agenda, but because it's not something that we're kind of internal, we don't have to put it on the agenda. But typically, yes, that's a great question. Typically, good. Please, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Maureen Gilbert, Dutton Hill Road. So I'm a proponent of the recap. I don't want it to be biased at all. I think it's great. It has these little snippets, but it already has like a tag, like here's a little, like we talked about, the land trust. And then there is already like a little link there. And I can't speak to how Kyle does this, but I would think everything else you're talking about would be adding more. There's a link in it for the agenda or for the meeting minutes. It's all very clear right there. And I guess I don't understand why it seems like it's a big deal to all of you. And I sent my email at 5, so I'm sure you didn't have a chance to read it yet. But I'm also going to go back to all the transparency issues that we had last year. And I think this recap for, say, a person with 3 kids who is cooking, is working, and doing all of this, and I can't sit down and do a 2-hour, 3-hour video, but here's a recap, and this says blah, blah, blah. Here, you can go right here, and you can view it, I think is really, really helpful. And I feel like everything that you as a council can do for transparency is really important, because there was a huge lack of transparency with decisions that were made in the past year. And I think that this would go a long way. And I think by taking it away, it's not necessarily a good little signal. But I do think it is really, really a great service. I think a lot of people that I know, once we discovered it was there, were really excited about it. I wasn't able to go to the last meeting. I was away, and it took me like 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, great, great, great. And then I went to the portions I wanted to go to. I went back later and watched it, but not everybody can do that. So I would strongly urge you to continue the recap as it is. And if you want to do all of these different changes with the website and how things are communicated, I feel like that's a bigger project, which again, as you said, you don't really have time for that. So why are we making this change?
You know, just point of clarification, I think giving you access or having a link to 100% of the entire conversation on any topic could not be more transparent.
Exactly. I feel that way.
That's it.
But that's what the recap is, that's what I'm saying.
But the recap is a snippet. It's not the we are giving you 100%. We are fully transparent. We are opening up the door so you can hear the entire conversation. Whereas a recap with even best intentions is just that.
But
it's
no,
not
the
100%.
recap has the link to the video, is what I'm saying.
And that's what we're going to have. Is just instead of the recap, we're going to. I think that's the majority wants for now.
It's heard my 3 minutes, but I'm confused on what we're changing, because right now.
What we're changing is we're just going to look, I believe, if everybody's in agreement, or the most, we're going to look at just providing the timestamp. So if you want to look at a, Lauren's new contract, here it is. You can go right to it. So it's whatever you want, you can go to. And I'm sure, I look at the agenda, there are some things that may not be as much of interest to me tonight as other parts. I'm going to go to them. I'm just being honest. I'm a citizen of this town as well. So what I'm saying is the links will be there and you'll be able to click on and go to 100% of that entire conversation.
So what's the problem with having just the little.
Yeah, okay, I say, the problem with having is anytime you get a human element in there, there's variation in how I might look at something or how you might look at something, and that's just human nature. So what we're saying is instead of doing that, to have any misinformation or mistransparency, we're just going to say, here's that piece, here's that 5-minute section, 100% transparent, because we want to be transparent. We're going to give it to you all, and you can just look at that one. And I think we're going to try that, and please give feedback. And if that doesn't work, we can look at other options. But I think for now, I think that's what we're going to do, because I think that's what the majority wants.
I'll let somebody else speak.
Okay, go. Yep.
It sounds like you've made a decision, but I do just want to say that written recap is so helpful. Looking at the agenda, I don't really understand a lot of what these just at a line of like ordinance, whatever. Again, it's hard for you all to read 200 pages of packet, let alone, someone who didn't make this commitment. So I think the recap, I don't always know which topics I'm interested in. I don't know what all of this means when I come to look at each agenda item and go to the timestamp. My husband and I both work full-time. I have a young son. That doesn't mean I don't have time to invest in the council. I applaud all of you for the time that you're serving here. I know it's a lot. But to be quite frank with you, I'm not going to go and watch the replay if I can't make it to a meeting. Typically that's because we don't have time that week to make it work. And to be honest with you, the way our routine works, I'm probably not going to go back and watch the timestamp unless it's something I'm really, like an issue I'm really looking to follow along with. But getting the gist of generally what's happening at council and just getting a little more information about the types of topics we're talking about here, the types of issues that are on the table. There's so many people you're going to lose if they have to take that extra step to click and watch a video if they don't totally understand what that topic is all about. And I think what we want to do here is call as many of our neighbors into this work. Get as many of our neighbors caring about the issues that you're all staying up till way past my bedtime, 9/11, working on and digging into. And so I just think anything we can do to make it easier. Some people, I don't know about data plans, but like I just don't, I'm not a video person. If I can have an audiobook, whatever. People access information in different ways. And I think the more variety and ways of information access we can give people, the more people we can call into this process. I just think there's so much going on. Why can't we just leave this be? It's my 2 cents.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for listening. I really
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Erin Demers, Straight Line the Road. I just wanted to, somebody said something about, or a couple of you mentioned, you want to hear what people think about this, you want to find out what people think. You've already heard what people think. Have any of you gotten correspondence from citizens against the recaps? No? So it sounds like you've already gotten several opinions and citizens have spoken. I'm not saying you should not pursue this further. I'm not saying people should not have the opportunity to speak against it. I'm more than willing to hear that from other people. But let's not say you want to hear what citizens are saying when citizens are clearly supporting it and you're not.
Thank you. I think I just want to say one thing is that you, the young lady here actually brought up a point that my concern is that you don't go that next step. You read what was there. No, I understand that, but you read, and I'm not here to argue, I just want to make the point that, people read that and then they take that for word, and then on Facebook you see all this stuff. And I want the actual, Pam and I unfortunately got into it last year about something, and she told me that she didn't come to the first part of the meeting, so she didn't see the whole thing. So you miss part of it, you don't know the whole context sometimes. And so I would rather just, and I had no opinion about this until a few minutes ago.
All right.
Yes. Okay, we gotta,
All right.
please.
Bob,
Sure, I sat here all night, I thought I might as well say something about something. Yeah, just a suggestion. I get the whole concern about inherent bias. I don't believe anyone tries to be biased, but we all have an opinion, and it's hard not for that opinion to come through in some way. Just a suggestion, and maybe a compromise, if we would at least put a indication of what formally happened in the sense of this motion was put forth and it was seconded by this person and it was approved, or it passed, or it didn't pass. Just very sort of mathematical things that you can't really be biased when you say specifically there was a motion that we accept this contract for our new town manager and it was passed. Then you're providing the specific information, and again, I don't believe that can be biased or should be biased. It's just very simple statements. That would give people a chance to at least know that, yes, we approved this, we didn't approve that.
It's in the minutes, Bob.
Very simple. Yeah, but again, it's just
I know what you're saying. I'm okay with that. So like for each agenda item saying, this item was brought up, it was passed 4-1, and
exactly,
and then that's it. Just facts.
With the link to, if you want more information, click here and you can get the rest of it.
Yeah.
So.
It is an agenda still. We're causing more work.
I know.
We're making it.
Trying to eliminate work, not gain
I don't know
work.
if I can talk about
You can't, I haven't, all right, so unfortunately, I understand what you're saying.
I just don't think you're listening.
We are listening, because I have some ideas based off of what you're saying, where I think we can give you what you want in a snippet of what the actual item is, so you understand what the item is, and then if you want to watch to the link, you can go into it. Kind of like a Cliff Note version in a book.
But that's what exists already.
No, that's not what,
You
that's,
say read the minutes, do this and that, but.
We're not gonna argue.
yeah, we can't, unfortunately, we can argue it, but it'd be like you and I watching a movie and you ranking the movie or making comments. We're all going to be different, and what we're trying to do is get something universal so we're all on the same page. But I understand what you're saying. I think I have an idea that we can do a compromise, and I will commit to working on that.
I'm sorry.
I'll commit to working on that.
On
That we can get something that is meeting what I think a lot of people want, but meeting what you want as well with regards to getting that information, understanding what the topic is, like what's a data center, explaining what it is, why it was voted, and then giving you the synopsis of it, and then you can go to the link if you want to watch the whole thing.
Kyle, I was told that somebody can't hear sound on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been having
Okay,
problems with
all right.
On which
Thank you.
platform?
I'm sorry, Kyle?
So we do have a couple of people online who I believe have been waiting for public comment.
We can't. Go ahead.
I'm going to start with Lisa.
If we
Lisa,
can't just let them talk on it.
your mic is now enabled, so please unmute and speak.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that just so it's user-friendly, for people who don't have more than a half an hour to look over and see what's going on. I've already proven I can't read an agenda, so I don't know
Well,
what this.
I don't think that was your
could
fault
have.
tonight, yeah. Thank you.
So if there was some kind of table of contents, it would be really helpful.
That's all right.
Have I been muted?
No, we hear you.
We hear you.
So, you know, if we can see what it looks like, and I don't know, I think Kyle was gonna say something and he didn't get a chance to talk about, he's the one who goes through it.
This is just whether we're
He
gonna
might
have it on
have
the
an
agenda or
idea.
not, that's all this is.
Yeah, yeah, that's okay. Well, thank you.
Julie, did you have your hand up about this? If so, put it up, and if not, then leave it down, and I think otherwise we're good to go online.
Okay, cool. All right. So it's just really a straw poll. It's not like an official, I mean, we can just take a look at it, so.
Look at it, do you want to leave it like it is now and just talk about it?
I would like to see, no, I would like to see if we could start with the timestamp, and then there's something else I'm gonna give you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'd have to figure out exactly what it is you want.
Okay. So let's take just a straw poll. All in favor of just doing a timestamp for now? Okay.
What do you mean by that then?
That means.
The agenda with a
You're gonna show
timestamp.
the agenda,
Mhm.
and
Just
it's
the
gonna,
agenda.
it's gonna say the items. I'll
Mhm.
send you. It's gonna say the items. So it's gonna say, you know, Lauren Town, you know, your new contract, and they can just click on it, and it's gonna go right there.
Gotcha.
But then what I think we can do is we can add a little bit more life to it. We can just put the topic. We can say, Lord, what is that? And we can say what it is, so it's very clear, gives a synopsis. And then they can read it real quick, and it's not biased, it's just what's in here, but it's out there. And then they can click on it and go to the
I
link.
just want to get a consensus of what it is you actually,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Right now, we're just gonna do the timestamp.
Okay.
Okay. All right, anything else? Okay, upcoming town council meetings are August 18th. We have a workshop at 6 PM. And on that same date of August 18th, we have a town council meeting at 6:30 PM. We have no executive session tonight. And at this time, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. Can I get a first? Can I get a second?
All in favor.
All in favor?